2, 1.
Welcome to the Endless Frontiers, your home for all things science, fiction, and science fiction. I'm your host, Jed Morgan, and welcome into another Crimson Desert stream. We'll try this again. Last night when we streamed, we had some technical difficulties that ended the stream early. Fingers crossed that won't happen again, but if it does, we will unfortunately have to end early. So prayers that Spectrum holds up would be greatly appreciated. Today's been an insane day on social media with the YouTuber drama going on. Instead of participating on that, I've just been tweeting about science stuff, about evolution, about Pluto being a planet, because yes, Pluto is a planet, and everything like that. And that's a much more enjoyable life for myself, is tweeting about science. Yes, there's going to be people who come in there and disagree with the science. There's going to be flat earthers. There's going to be space deniers and flirts, everything like that, but it's still much more enjoyable than getting into YouTube drama or politics, so it's a good life for me. And on top of that, I get to hang out with all you incredible people this evening as we play some Crimson Desert and react to the astronauts of Artemis 2 coming home. They're getting ready for a splashdown in, I think, about an hour and a half, somewhere around there. We'll periodically check in with the NASA broadcast, see what the progress is on that. And hopefully those astronauts come home very safely, because this is, besides the launch, the most dangerous part of the process. So it's a little nerve-wracking. There were some slight issues with the heat shield of Artemis 1, but they weren't as major as some people are saying, and those issues have been fixed. So we're not foreseeing any issues, but I'm of course worried about the astronauts and hope they come home, because they've done something absolutely incredible, going out around the moon, getting farther from Earth than any human beings ever. We want to end this incredibly positive journey with an incredibly positive high note. So we'll check in with that. They're going to be doing an adjustment burn in about half an hour here, I believe, just to adjust their angle of entry, and then they'll start descending, going at like something crazy like 20,000 miles per hour when they hit the atmosphere. And it's a long way down into the Pacific Ocean. So we'll be monitoring that. I have the broadcast up on my other monitor. I'm watching it, but if anybody is also watching it out there like last time, and you notice, hey, something big's about to happen, please let me know and we'll switch over to it. We're going to go back and forth between the game and the broadcast as needed. But it's going to be a historic night, and I'm very excited to get all that extra data. The astronauts have only been sending back some of the photos thus far. Some of the best stuff, according to them, is on the hard drive of the Orion capsule and will be uploaded to NASA and spread out to the public. It's just way too many people to, way too many gigabytes of data to broadcast back easily and transmit to the world. So they prioritize, which makes sense. So we're going to see some great stuff once they return and once all their data is collected and collated by NASA. So I'm excited. Welcome in, whether or not you're watching on the YouTube side or the Kick side. It's greatly appreciated. I already see Legatus Legionist, the Mod Supreme, doing the Lord's work on both YouTube and Kick. It's great to have you here. And Lantine Boy has stopped by saying, let's hope Spectrum doesn't shit the bed tonight. Let's hope. During the intro, right before I switched over to my solo cam, it hiccuped for half a second there, and I started to get worried, but it's been going well ever since then. So let's see how it works out. I'm praying it's okay. It seemed like a one-time glitch. We were having internet issues all day yesterday, periodically, but today those issues haven't been occurring, so we're hoping it was just a temporary outage, but we'll see. I will have to end early if it starts acting like it did last night. Legatus is saying, incredible people, question mark. What is that in reference to? Did I say someone was incredible that I shouldn't have? In my long spiel, did I accidentally call flat earthers incredible people? I meant to say the astronauts were incredible people, but maybe I slipped up a little bit there. Legatus, since Jed isn't on the Spectrum, Jed is not a priority for Spectrum. I could see some bias going on with that. They just try to support their people. I'm not representing properly. But let's tune into the broadcast real quick. Let's see how things are going over there. All right. There isn't a whole lot going on. I just want to check in with it, see how everything's going.
On this mission, as Integrity is passing over the southwest coast of Australia now, at an altitude
Okay,
of
it's
some
getting close. They did their
7,600
retrograde
nautical
burn
miles.
yesterday. They had two
That will
retrograde burns, I
begin
believe, but the big one was
southwest and
yesterday, and that
northeasterly
one's
transit
successful.
across the Pacific
So
Ocean.
everything is going well.
Let's talk a little bit more about some of the highlights and some of the numbers associated with the points of interest here. We are 27 and a half minutes
They're
away
only
from crew module
8,000
service
miles
module
away.
separation. That will be followed about 3.5 minutes later.
Okay, so in just under half an hour, the separation will occur from the crew capsule to the support capsule. So what you can see on that screen there, you briefly saw, there was the dark gray nose of it, and the rest of it was white. The white part will separate from the gray, and the gray is where the astronauts are, and that will come back down to Earth. So we're getting close. I'll tune in for that moment when it occurs. Lantern Boy says, looks at Jed's room. He's deaf, but he is on the spectrum, the nerd spectrum. That spectrum, I guess I'm okay, as long as it's not too closely associated with other spectrums. I'll take it. But let's check in with Crimson Desert. You guys didn't miss anything. I ended the stream. I mean, the stream auto ended. I didn't really have a choice about it. But I ran away from that main quest as soon as I was able to. So you guys missed me killing 3 people and it fading away and saying, hey, successful. But there's still more to do in this area. So that's where we're picking up, right where we left off. And I'm actually gonna, I love this music, but I do need to turn it down a little bit because the NASA feed is so quiet. Fuck. I keep doing that. The NASA feed is so quiet that with the audio so loud, I'm having difficulty hearing it. So I'm just gonna turn down the master volume to, let's say 60, we'll do 69 because I'm a child. Welcome in, Rick Deckard, saying, this whole endeavor has been incredible. I didn't expect to be excited about space exploration. That's the absolute best part of all of this, Rick, and welcome in. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Is seeing people get excited about space travel again. You see it in old movies and with broadcasts of Apollo, the Apollo program, and you see the pure excitement. You hear about all the kids who wanted to grow up to be astronauts. Space was the goal for so many people, and it was incredible. But that's been lost for decades until now with the Artemis program. It's reawakening that. And I've been one of the few space nerds who kept going, and I think it's absolutely incredible that people are getting back into it. It's been such a positive journey. They've been saying so many great things. I really like Christina. She had a comment the other day that says, we will always choose Earth. And that I love, because so many people these days are so pessimistic and nihilistic. They think the space program is about abandoning Earth. And like, oh, Earth's not good enough. Why don't we solve our problems here? It's not about that. We can solve so many of our problems here on Earth because of space. I mean, like, CT scans are a thing because of the space program. What new technological advancement will there be because of this era of the space program? It's going to be incredible. So there's that aspect of it, but also being interplanetary will save us from extinction someday. It makes us immortal as a species, as Elon Musk famously puts it. And I love it. I absolutely love it. The positivity, the excitement about space travel for the first time at this scale in decades. Well, like even the space program. Without the disasters, unfortunately, of the space program, there wasn't as much interest as in the Apollo era. So I think this is the biggest excitement for space since the Apollo era. And I absolutely love it. All right, let me save that up. Lantern Boy, well, Elon Musk is definitely on the let's abandon Earth train. I don't agree with Elon Musk on everything, not in the slightest. Especially with his AI data setters around the moon. A lot of his moon ideas are great. Like the lunar mass drivers is actually a great thing. That's been a theory for decades at this point, and it's absolutely something that we can pursue. But yeah, I'm not in the abandoned Earth category. That's just a really good quote from him. Rick, we gained so much tech during the space shuttle era too. We absolutely did. I was just mentioning the space shuttle era as in public excitement. But yeah, the space program has always improved us as a species, technologically evolving us in incredible ways. Legata, sadly, they would need a miracle to fix stupid. Yeah, there's another quote that I really love. You can change 40 scholars' minds with one fact, but you can't change one idiot's mind with 40 facts. And it's very relevant right now with all the flat earthers, space is fake, people, and everything like that. It's a little depressing to see so many of them coming out of the woodwork. So many people are just too jaded. The shuttles were extremely risky compared to the rockets. Yeah, there's a reason we went back to the capsule design. The shuttles were so cool, though. It felt like we were finally building spaceships. It was like something out of science fiction movies. Alright, I might need to focus.
Ready where it's due. They say even a big fight his way home to die. Seems right.
Uh-oh. Alright, I am locking in a little bit. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Lantern Boy, but one of my favorite movies that features the space shuttle is Space Camp. It's a ridiculous, over-the-top movie. It's not particularly well written, but it, you know, Steven Spielberg's ex-wife was in it, and it had so much wonder. I really like Space Camp. It's cheesy, it's a guilty pleasure of mine, but if you haven't seen it, it's definitely a movie that all space fans should watch at least once. That movie claimed that Space Camp was basically a high school internship program, because most of the kids in Space Camp in that movie were 17. Alright. Come on. I got this. He's got nothing on me. Ludwig is the traitor. This is a big moment of revenge in the main story. I don't know why he has fucking lightning powers. When did that happen? You know what? I'm gonna try. Come on. Come on. I keep timing it wrong. I'll just take him out. There we go. Alright, please let there be a phase 2. That was great.
Come on then. Let's both give it our all, eh?
Whoa. What the fuck? Did he just infect that man or something? Oh. But there will be a phase 2. Holy hell. Who is this dude? I mean, I know in the story who he is, but what the fuck is happening? Whoa. Whoa. Alright, I'm still gonna be able to take him out even in this form. Unless he has some crazy one-hit ability that I don't know about yet. But I do have 20 fucking, advanced Palmer pills, which are full health restore. So it shouldn't be a problem. I need better health than this. Whoa. That was quite the combo. Awakened Ludwig is what he's called here. Oh, heal, heal, heal. Faster, faster, faster. Faster. Alright, let me find something that heals for more than that. 180. Good. Alright, I'm back on my feet. Back on my feet. Come on, Ludwig. I have a ridiculous amount of health, though, so I'm not worried about running out of food or anything. Come on, just a few more hits, and that's it. Nice. Hell yeah. Alright, I'm just gonna try to catch up a little bit. Legata says, yeah, without the space shuttles, we'll never get a Buck Rogers. We'll find other stuff. Like, as much as, you know, I do disagree with Elon Musk in some things, I really like Starship. Starship looks great. Lantern Boy, but to make them really work, they would have needed to be entirely made of ablative material, and that wouldn't have worked yet. I might have watched Space Camp, but it was a long time ago if you did. Okay, yeah, I would recommend checking that out again if you don't remember it. Rich Deckard, it's funny that we get most of our tech jumps through either war or space exploration, which is kind of ironic. Yeah, absolutely. And I'd much rather it come through space exploration than war. Lantern Boy said, that guy's just Thor if he chose to use a sword rather than a hammer. You're not wrong. Oh, by the way, I'd like to mention that the space exploration and expansion simulation management game called Solar Expanse came out yesterday. I'll have to check that out. Solar Expanse. Definitely going to check that out. Technically, it came out in early access. Oh, okay. But even then, it was quite the amount of progress from its early alpha phase. I will have to check it out. Ariel saying we all saw the AI pictures of the Artemis too. I know you're trolling, but it hurts.
It doesn't come off clean, you'll know.
Alright, Ludwig is vanquished. Ariel, I did figure out what was the problem with your donation on Monday, and it was entirely my fault. I didn't know that you had the link to the Streamlabs donation. It's Stream Elements that I've been pushing, and that's what I was looking at. But when I checked Streamlabs, it was right there. So I'll be better at checking both of those tips in future. I do wonder if you remember where you got that link. I wonder if I accidentally have the wrong link posted somewhere. Because Elements is what I've been pushing, so I'm thinking I might have accidentally left it in a description default or something like that. If you remember where you got that link, I'd love to double check where you got it from, Ariel. Welcome in, Dash says, does everyone have their Planet of the Apes costume ready to prank the Artemis crew when they land? I've got mine. Have you got yours? I'm ready to go. Speaking of Planet of the Apes, do you guys know what's going on in Africa right now? It was on the top of the chat. Huh. Yeah, I checked the one that I post, and it's the Stream Elements one, and the bot posts Stream Elements. Do you mean top of the description, maybe? I could see myself accidentally putting it in there, but I'll figure it out at another time. But speaking of Planet of the Apes, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but there's a civil war going on in Africa right now. Two major chimpanzee tribes are going at each other in full-scale warfare. Like, it's something that's never really been seen in the animal kingdom like this, except for with, like, ants. Sun Alm is now following on Kick. I appreciate the follow. Hope you enjoy. So yeah, that story is something that I'm going to talk about on Monday. A literal war of apes. I think it's hilarious. Lantern Dash, I know flat earthers do, but then is it a costume to them? Damn.
I lay my guard down. It happens.
Except it fucking shouldn't.
Now, shame he got away. But don't be too hard on Dwayne. Fuck. Anyway, he's not much of a threat on his own.
We went easy taking his hand. Next time it'll be his head.
So maybe his power comes from his hand? I didn't read the lore documents.
But the Black
Rick
Bear
Deckard
still
says,
stands
I
strong.
know this Artemis adventure got the
Far
people
more
who
than
didn't believe we
jackals.
landed on the moon real upset. Oh yeah, the moon landing deniers,
This fight
the
won't
space is
end
fake
until
people,
we
the
bring
flat
down
earthers,
Morden.
they're all insane.
Right.
Maybe it was the
We
description.
take
I'll
out
double check the
Morden and
description
rest
because
will
that's the
flee
one
on
where it
road.
makes sense that I might not have updated correctly. And it's my fault, Ariel. It's not your
Strike
fault
the
in the
shepherd,
slightest.
and the flock will scatter.
Exactly.
So Ludwig's still skulking around, and we're just letting him go?
Of course not. We have to catch him no matter what.
I'd have missed that. I don't remember
The
Ludwig
Myrden
escaping.
must already have grasped the situation here in Palun.
When isn't there a civil war going on in Africa?
Easy.
Dash.
Taking down the Black Bears comes first.
But
Not
jumping
wrong.
straight into a fight with them. We're all exhausted.
Exhausted or not, drinking a dose will fix that. Fuck, fine. All right, let's go gut some bears
Look,
first.
Jan, I understand. But now is the perfect time to take down Myrden. When everyone's ready, gather at the entrance to their stronghold.
Feels as though
We're
the
getting
moment
ready
of
for
this
a
land's
confrontation with the
liberation
Black Bears.
draws near.
Fuck yeah.
I presume you have a plan.
We're going to
There's nothing
invade the
much to it.
volcano.
I've pictured this battle in my mind countless times.
You know I'll be right there beside you. Been itching for this slaughter for a long time.
Aye.
I don't trust Yan as far as I can throw them.
Everything
And
will
as
be
Cliff, I
alright.
can throw them pretty fucking far. Alright, looks like we're getting close to a confrontation with the Black Bears. Join your comrades in the counterattack. And Ariel said, and I, for one, welcome our new ant overlords and willing to help collect other humans to work in the salt mines. Yeah, I don't think the ants are going to be the ones enslaving us, but you never know. You never know. Lancing, 2 minutes to hotfire the command module thrust. Okay, let's switch over and take a look. That's a good opportunity to switch
not only
over.
propelling
Let's see where we're at.
the integrity and its astronauts toward the moon, but also conducting the fine-tuning of its trajectory to bring it to this point where we are dead spot on down the middle of the corridor trajectory-wise to bring integrity down for its splashdown in the Pacific just 44 minutes from now.
44 minutes away. Seems like everything's still a go. They're 5,000 miles. So since the start of this stream, they've traveled 3,000 miles closer. So we're getting very close to splashdown. Very exciting. Thank you for the reminder, Lantine Boy, about the thrusters. Rick says, as a guy who works at a nuclear plant, this makes me wonder if there is a way we could make nuclear-powered rockets. Don't know the status of space research on that, though. Well, Rick, nuclear power is so overhated. People are so terrified of it, I think because of the Cold War and World War II to a certain
What
extent.
you're looking at is
And it's
a
way too
computer-generated,
overhated. And nuclear power, when it comes to that,
visualization
NASA
based
is
on
working on
integrity.
a nuclear-powered
Currently
spacecraft
traveling, about
that will be going to
16,000
Mars
miles an
in
hour.
2028, I believe. It might be a little bit farther away than that. They're calling it Space Reactor Freedom 1, which is a ridiculous name, and they're going to take helicopters to Mars for some aerial mapping, research, surveying, and stuff like that. So they're currently
Integrity
working
traveling
on
about
nuclear-powered
16,000
ships,
miles
and I
an
think it's
hour.
awesome. It's about damn time. Lansing, wouldn't the ants want sugar, though? They probably want sugar over salt. You're right.
Now just about 5,100
Ariel,
miles
it's
from
all
Earth.
AI. How we
Splashdown
know it's
scheduled
really
43
gonna be
minutes from
here.
now. We're just 9.5 minutes away from the crew module service module separation.
9 minutes from the separation. We're getting close. Getting close. They hate it because of Chernobyl and the 3 Mile Island. Yeah, Chernobyl exacerbated situations, but people were afraid of nuclear fallout and stuff like that long before Chernobyl. Chernobyl was just
are
blown out
confirming.
of proportion, and it's definitely a
Technically,
contributing
we are
factor.
assessing
Absolutely,
details,
people
but
think
so far it looks
Chernobyl's
like a good hot
insane. And you know, Chernobyl's not some irradiated, mutated wasteland right now. People actively
And
visit
checking
it
the half, you took
without
the words out
issues
of my mouth. I
currently.
was just about to say that
So
we had a good
yeah,
hot fire test
Chernobyl's
of the,
absolutely a
thrusters
contributing
in
factor.
advance of the crew module service module
Dash
separation
says the
that's
Luke
coming up
Goblin
just
who slept
8.5
through
minutes
Daily
from
Dive
now.
again said he'll make good on
This,
your review on Monday. Oh, would you
We'll,
make him
begin,
review this
the
time?
period in which
Damn.
we will have
Ariel,
rapid-fire
you made him
succession
review
of
something.
critical activities on board
Damn.
that will lead to
Yeah, he
entry
did, what was it, a
interface just
10-hour
28
stream
minutes from
last
now,
night? Adam the
where the
Renaissance
vehicle
That's
will enter
insane.
the Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of 400,000 feet.
Rick,
The,
TMI,
time
Chernobyl,
of
and
entry
Fukushima
interface,
didn't help the image?
6:53
Absolutely,
and
but
30
those
seconds
accidents did
PM
help with
Central
learning
Time.
ways to prevent those accidents from occurring again. Absolutely. I didn't mean to understate the devastation that was Chernobyl and, of course, Fukushima, but people have it warped in their minds at the scale of the damage, especially of Chernobyl and the fallout of it. People, if you've ever seen at least the trailers for the movie Annihilation, so many people were saying, wow, they're making a movie about going back to Chernobyl, huh? People have no idea what Chernobyl actually looks like. And same thing with SpaceX initial rocket tests blowing up over and over and over again. What I keep saying is failure teaches us how to do things better. We learn as much from something failing, even in a tragedy, as we do from success. So you're absolutely right. Learning to prevent those accidents is a great thing that's come out of those tragedies.
Service module separation.
And 3 Mile Island, I don't know anything, unfortunately, about 3 Mile Island off the top of my head, so I can't speak to that. Chernobyl's just the very famous one. And Fukushima.
Integrity Houston, we have confirmed a good CMRCS hot fire, and although we are not seeing GPS acquired yet, you can skip the troubleshooting steps in 157 for now.
All right, we're getting close. Lanting, but yeah, the two major methods of nuclear propulsion are the Orion nuclear pulse engines, where the rocket fires nukes behind it and the detonation pushes a giant plate that provides movement. That one's a bit insane. That one's really insane. And we do use nuclear, kind of. We use nuclear power a little bit in space travel currently. They're called RTGs, but they're not nuclear reactors. People call them nuclear reactors, but that's not accurate whatsoever. It's heat from a decaying isotope that's used to power small electronics. I believe that's how the Voyager spacecraft are powered. But yeah, people lump that in. It's like, we're already using nuclear. It's like, kind of, yes, but no. Rick says you have to you have no idea how many barriers have to fail in order to get that level of accident. Yeah, it's been corrected and made so safe these days. The NRC regulations are what causes the nuclear industry to cost so much money. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. FYI, TMI is short for 3 Mile Island. Okay, I thought you were saying too much information. That's what my brain immediately thought when you said TMI. That's my bad, Rick. Yeah, I didn't think that made sense in context, but like that's the only acronym I could think of. How we looking?
That GPS data is basically telling Integrity's onboard computers its position relative to the Earth, but its trajectory and its orientation according to flight dynamics and the guidance, navigation, and control officer is spot on.
Lanting, RTGs are nuclear only in the sense that they're radioactive. There's no reaction to provide power at all. Yep, absolutely, perfectly put. People call it nuclear, and it's mainly because of the radioactive material. But Space Reactor, what was it? Space Reactor Freedom 1 is actually nuclear powered, a nuclear reactor.
We will see Integrity.
Rick, you live on abbreviations in the nuke industry. A lot of people like abbreviations. Absolutely understandable.
That will be
Lanting, except for the hole generates heat, which can be used to spin a turbine. It can be used in a little sense. The RTGs, they're not massively helpful. They're for powering low-level electronics or something like that. They're not going to be used as a rocket as they currently exist. Dash 3 Mile didn't have any casualties or fallout, so not much of a big deal. Okay, yeah, like I said, I don't know anything about 3 Mile off the top of my head, so hearing that doesn't surprise me.
A slight nudge of the aft end of the vehicle so that it's tilted a bit upward, providing the final angle of attack. As the vehicle
they're doing their adjustment burn to change their angle.
The mitigating factor that will reduce heat loads on the heat shield as we reach a point downrange from the
Lantine, if they call RTGs nuclear, then they should call coal power plants nuclear power as well, since coal is even more radioactive than ambient uranium. God, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I get people coming after, talking to me all the time about the Van Allen radiation belt. I mean, it's a meme on this channel at this point, but I'm thinking of diving into them extensively on this week's Ride or Flight, like talking about the different types of radiation, about the Van Allen radiation belt itself, the way it's configured and everything like that, talking about dosage and duration, how things are actively radiated all around. I'm thinking about doing like a 15-minute deep dive into the Van Allen radiation belt. If you guys aren't interested in that, because I care more about catering to you, my regulars, than to random flat earthers and moon landing deniers, but I think it would be interesting.
We concur with suppress, not inhibit. Thank you.
That exchange between Jackie Mahaffey, our Capcom for tonight, and Reed Wiseman aboard Integrity, indicating basically to ignore sensor data. All of Integrity's systems are in good shape.
Good. And I think it's scheduled, I don't know the length, but we're definitely going to lose direct contact with the capsule as it comes through the atmosphere. The interference from re-entry is just too insane. So we're going to lose contact with them. Hopefully they have some exterior cameras set up and some people covering it, listening to the NASA broadcast.
The crew module, service module separation.
I didn't hear it. How many minutes? 90s. Is that 90 seconds till the crew module separation? Rick, most people don't know that the worst thing that can happen at a nuclear plant is fire. Brown's Ferry almost had a meltdown due to water level after a fire killed most of their cable and control.
All of the preparatory activities leading up to the vehicle.
That's frightening. That's worrying, man. But I'm glad it didn't actually melt down. Dash, don't dive into the Van Halen radiation belt. You glow in the dark. Thank you for the new follow over on Kick. I greatly appreciate it. Lantine, because they only because they have only one camera angle, Ariel. I must have missed a comment from Ariel. Oh yeah, it didn't show up on YouTube. Let me read that. Ariel, why isn't they showing the entire thing? How do we know that they aren't holding the rest of it up with, I'm guessing that means wires. Jeez. We're gonna lose connection to them during re-entry. That makes sense with the science. But yeah, there's one primary external camera, and it's attached to the solar wings. I think that's what they're calling them, is solar wings for some reason. But we're actually gonna have the capsule separation in a few seconds here, and the camera's on the support side, I believe. So yeah, there are still cameras inside of the capsule, but the crew has way more important things to worry about than the broadcast to the world at this moment. Rick, that was in 1975, which caused major changes in the industry to prevent that. Oh, here we go. Separation.
And we have confirmation of crew module, service module separation. And a great view, albeit momentarily.
Houston, good stuff on board.
Houston copies and concurs.
The European service module now separated from Integrity. A job well done.
Integrity, no action for the 4 CDH cautions. Those are SM related, not applicable.
All right, looking good. Thank you for the new follow on Kick, Emporos. Thank you. Getting a lot of activity on Kick. I love it. All right, sounds like everything's going well. I'm not sure what this angle is of, but it sounds like it's working well.
So with Integrity now flying free on its own for the remaining 32 minutes of this mission. Next up, the raise burn, a 19-second firing of Integrity's thrusters.
GPS 2.
All right, there's going to be a 19-second braking burn. That's going to be happening next.
Copies, good GPS 2.
Coming up on the
Rick
2-minute
saying
mark
that was,
until the
no,
rays
you already
burn.
read that
Again,
one.
this is
Almost
final
the
tweaking
most,
of
also
the
the most
orientation
effective way
of
to build a base
integrity
off-world would likely be to use nuclear due to the
to
power
put it in
demand
the
well,
right
that would take.
angle,
Yes,
if you will,
absolutely.
the angle of
Nuclear
attack
reactors on the
that
moon
it
need to
will
happen.
fly in
Absolutely.
during its entrance
And
into the
that's
Earth's
going to happen.
atmosphere.
That second
Entry
angle
interface
didn't
now
look
just
right
18 minutes, 25 seconds
because
away.
there's so much going on that, yeah,
This
those
is,
cameras
a
aren't going to be
visualization, but
great
driven
just
by
because of the
real-time
stresses that they're
telemetry.
under.
This is
And
the
we're under
maneuvering of
3,000
integrity to the rays
miles.
burn orientation. Just 2,800 miles from Earth.
All right, we're getting close. Ariel, the first one looked good, but the second one looks like it's AI. AI would be so much better than that.
Out the window with the sun hitting the side and the solar rays and the NASA worm right there. It's a beautiful looking
Lantine
machine.
saying, actually, ion drives would be the most efficient, but they take way too long, unless you mean powering the place. That's what he was talking about, was building the base, powering the base, Lantine boy. And yeah, I don't think ion drives would be very useful for powering like a moon base or a Mars base or something like that. No, Rick, never apologize for not knowing enough. That's a big thing on my channel. If you look at the description of this stream, the about section of my channel, I say I'm not personally an expert in anything. I don't have any advanced degrees or education. I'm just a passionate amateur. And the only way that we can all learn, improve, and become wiser is if when we're wrong, we're corrected. So I encourage people to correct me when I don't know everything that I should. And that helps me understand all of this better. And I do my own research as well. I read a lot of scientific books and papers and stuff like that for research for my book series and everything like that. So yeah, you don't need to apologize for being ignorant. That's the whole purpose of this channel, is that we learn better. That we learn better. We're not going to use dilithium. Yep, unfortunately, dilithium is fictional. Wouldn't that be great, though? Ariel saying, prove to me it's not out there.
Burn is underway.
I mean, there aren't any more gaps in our periodic table, so it would have to be beyond our periodic table, which is possible, but we're looking pretty good without gaps. All right. We are probably about, I'd say,
Integrity
30 minutes.
Good. CM rays burn. Your flight path angle is within limits.
All right. The CM rays burn sounds like it worked.
Copies. Looks good on board, Jackie.
So the final maneuver is now complete.
Perfect.
Our trajectory for a splashdown in the Pacific 29 minutes from now is set, and will
29 minutes to splashdown.
And
they finished their maneuver. So we're going to click away for a few minutes and keep playing the game for a little bit. I still have the stream up, and Lantern Boy sounds like he's watching it as well. So we'll tune back in once we get a little bit closer. And I'm going to move on with the main story. Let's see where we have to go. We're joining my comrades. The Grey Mane shall unite against the Black Bears. Alright, it's about 600 meters away. Fast traveling is not really going to improve things. I'm just going to get out of the city and then call for my horse. Could it possibly be created like what humans could do? Could humans create a new element? We make new compounds, and steel is technically a compound. Or an alloy, I think is the more correct term. But, I guess we're not at the point where we can create new elements, but I don't think it's precluded by our current understanding of science to make a new element, not specifically dilithium. Welcome in, Judas Goat Barbecue. It's great to have you here. We're getting within, I think, about 25 minutes to the splashdown of the Artemis 2 crew, so we're just going to go a little back and forth as we monitor that situation. Dash explains, ion drives are basically a tank of welding gas and a fancy bug zapper. I mean, it's definitely an interesting description of it. I do like that description. Lansing, odds are that if dilithium exists, it won't be nearly as good at power generation as being an antimatter catalyst in Star Trek. Yeah, it's insanely effective in Star Trek. And most fictional power sources like that have to be, or at least catalysts, like fictional elements to facilitate power generation, have to be. Like, I have to create a fictional power source in my book universe as well. Let me see where it's at. It's over there. So in the Acubear White warp theory, that is, you know, the foundation of most of our theories on warp travel, they talk about needing exotic matter all the time. So I have an exotic matter in my book universe that makes warp travel and things like that possible. And some people think it's a cheesy name, but I wanted to honor the exotic matter as Acubear White and other scientists have described it as, so I call it exoticum. So my super fancy space magic-y, you could call it, power source is called exoticum in my book universe. Lantine, pretty sure we do create new elements in the Large Hadron Collider, but they don't last since their half-time are a fraction of a second. I think that's true. Yeah, I think I have heard of that before. I need to research that more, Lantine, but you're absolutely correct, I think. Exodium. So I did think about doing things like that, Lantine, but I'm glad you were close. You were on the same track as me. I just found exoticum to be a lot easier to say than some of the other alternates like exodium. So yeah, exoticum is what I call it. And it is the least hard sci-fi aspect of my books, but it's at least, you know, supported by the theories that exotic matter is necessary, and I study a lot of quantum physics to make it possible. So there is a test that's been done on quantum entanglement by a Professor Hoda that I base a lot of exoticum off of. So Hoda and his team were able to prove that energy could be transferred across quantum entanglement bonds. So I built off of that and made it into a much larger scale, and exotic matter creates the negative energy that Acubear White theory talks about. So I at least try to base it in reality, even if I'm going far from our current understanding of science. I'd call it the cheeser unobtainium. Oh god, not unobtainium from Avatar. Should have called it Energizer or Duracell. A rabbit hitting a drum is the power source. Omega particle was taken. Yep, Omega particle was taken. I thought exotic was at least unique sounding. I haven't seen any sci-fi property that has a similar sounding material.
Let's wipe out every last one of those bastards.
They must pay for every tear they've caused, Palun. And for Gian as well.
At last, the day has finally come for us to
Hell
unleash
yeah.
our long overdue fury. What say we strike them once night falls?
Oh, you call it unobtainium from the core? Fuck Avatar. I haven't seen the core, but I'm pretty sure they call it unobtainium in Avatar as well. At least the first one. That's the only one I've ever seen. I do need to watch the core. I'm just curious about it. I forgot Avatar is the thing that decided to bring it back. I didn't realize it was a reference to the core. Thank you, Kit Caddy, for the new follow over on Kick. A lot of activity over there. Love it.
A long battle awaits us tonight.
Alright, we're getting ready for war with the Black Bears. And Spectrum's been holding up so far, almost an hour into the stream, and it's working.
Let's go.
Okay, finally. Come on then.
You like the core, Ariel? I heard people say that it's a fun movie, but at least from the science, it makes zero sense. Kind of Armageddon style of science. Alright, we're 22 minutes away from splashdown. I don't know the exact time that they're going to hit the atmosphere, though. Well, I mean, the thicker parts of the atmosphere. Rick Deckard says, so if everything went on schedule, when will we put men back on the moon? I understand that we will be dealing with the government, so it won't be on schedule. Yeah, that's the thing. It might get delayed, but if everything follows schedule, there will be 2 moon landing missions in 2028 with Artemis 3 and 4. And hold on, I want to pause. Pause.
Cliff.
Let me pause, for the love of God.
Watch me.
Alright, it was just a really cool shot from the Orion capsule, but it's gone. We'll switch back over in a second. Loss of communication is in 9 minutes. Okay. Judas, there's one element, Moscovium, element 115, that used to be called unobtainium, really.
To help rouse your memories.
Alright. We got some black bears blocking our way. Let's take them down.
Remember?
That Gian, maybe?
Kneeling in the dirt.
He's got some sort of prisoner. Let me check real quick. Atlantean might not have been a reference. The idea for the name, it's a material that can't be obtained on Earth. Okay, so it might not have been a reference, but it's called the same thing. Ariel, call it spectronium, and we use the souls of humans as a power source. Damn. But loss of communication is in 9 minutes, probably closer to 8 minutes now. So we'll go through this cutscene and then switch over. Watch the rest of it. We'll probably watch the rest of the splashdown once we switch over again.
And the blood. Oh, our blood!
Oof.
Pickfuckers! They're all fucking dead!
Hell yeah, here we go. Woo! Whoa! I don't know what I just did. You're dead? I don't know what's going on. Lansing, we use the Wi-Fi of people losing hope in their internet as the power source for Spectronium. Well, the whole nation could be powered off of me, if that were the case. He's wearing the pirate hat. Thank you for the point out. I need to switch to my war helm. It's not much better, but... And I don't know if I can... I tried this earlier. Yes, and it worked. Okay, I figured out how to lift and unlift my, my visor. Alright. Where's the commander? Oh, we're regrouping with Andrew. Andrew just dove straight into battle. I don't know why that challenge is still up, because I'm absolutely being detected during all of this. Let's hope that companions can't die at this point. But it was so cool when Jed was hunting for the One Piece. What are you talking about? Is that a One Piece reference, Lantine? Or was I just taking a long time with the puzzle? Alright. Let's get closer. What are we doing now? Regroup with Nara. Alright. Let's regroup with Nara. Or Naira. I think it's pronounced Naira. Alright, Naira. Wearing the pirate hat? Oh, it was a One Piece reference. Yeah, I'm afraid I've never seen either One Piece. Alright, how you doing, Naira? Oh, don't block a sword with your bow.
Still got it.
Oh, Oh yeah, let's switch over. That's a great shot you're talking about, Lantine. Let's switch over. We'll come back to the game as soon as the splashdown finishes. So we'll watch this for another 20 minutes, 25 minutes, make sure everything goes well. Alright, they're not talking right now. As soon as I switch over. Yes, the Earth is moving so fast. They're going ridiculously fast right now. And is that the moon in the background? I think that might be the moon. Unless it's just a speck on the lens. It might be a speck on the range.
As it crosses from southwest to northeast across the Pacific Ocean, 3 minutes from entry interface.
What's this? It's not flat enough to be the Earth?
16
Lantine boy, that Earth isn't a sphere. That's pretty round, and it's just huge. So you're not seeing the whole
John
thing.
Murtha and the recovery team is on station and in position.
16 minutes till splashdown.
Airborne imagery assets that we hope to receive imagery from as Artemis enters the Earth's atmosphere and through parachute deployment.
It must be nerve-wracking for them. I don't know what's going to be more nerve-wracking, launch or re-entry. Lantine, could it be one of the planets rather than the moon?
Ready to
maybe
its mission just 15.5 minutes from now.
I mean, the only one that would be that bright necessarily would be Venus.
In perfect fashion.
And
no issues with
Venus
the vehicle,
is usually
no
closer to the sun. Unless the sun is just out of frame above the camera. It's not noon in the Pacific. Lantine, no, Ariel said that Earth isn't a sphere. Did you say it too? But yeah, like 3 comments before you, Ariel did say that it ain't a sphere. At least that's what chat on YouTube and Restream is saying, that she said it. Did they mix up your names?
Coming up on 1 minute until entry interface.
Ariel, no, it looks like it's it's only curved at center and straight at ends. Cause it's huge, Ariel. Cause it's huge. And its sphere it's close to a sphere. What is the exact term for it? It's an oblate spheroid, I think is the technical term for it, because it's a little fatter beneath the equator, bulges at the equator, so it's more like a very, very subtle pear-shaped.
6-minute blackout.
Mark 1.
Integrity.
Okay, 1 minute until the blackout.
6-minute blackout.
Yeah. We're going to lose contact with them, and that is expected. I know the flat earthers out there can't understand why that would happen, but ablated spheroid. Okay. So it isn't a sphere. It's a spheroid, but it's not flat. Dash, they at least have their escape rocket system part of the way up. There's no backup plan for re-entry. You're right. Absolutely right. You all lied about it being a sphere. Flat earthers were right. Saying sphere instead of oblate spheroid is just simpler language. That's not lying. It's still a spheroid. We're just not talking about how it's a little pudgy. The Earth is a little pudgy. It's put on some holiday weight. We don't want to judge. We're trying to be body positive to Mother Earth.
We're at 400,000 feet, traveling 34,800 feet per second.
Oh, they tilted hard there. Oh, the heat's coming on. They've hit the upper atmosphere.
Time to splash down. 13 minutes, 10 seconds.
We're definitely going to lose contact here soon. Rick, I only know that because of Stephen Fry. Actually, was it Stephen Fry? All right. Was that loss of signal?
And as predicted, we've entered our communications blackout.
Mm-hmm.
This will be a 6-minute blackout
13 minutes
period.
To splash down.
No voice, no data from the crew.
Communication blackouts are always scary. Even the one around the far side of the moon, even though nothing was going to happen, most likely, it's still nerve-wracking.
Heating on the vehicle, where temperatures will rise to about 4,000 to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the true test of our trajectory.
4,000 to 5,000 degrees. Let's hope their heat shield doesn't have any
And
issues.
from
I think
the
they worked out the
G5
kinks, the minor kinks from
aircraft
Artemis 1.
in the vicinity of the splashdown zone, this view of integrity. So
All right, they got
pinpoint
eyes
of
on
light,
at least.
shows the vehicle as it enters
That cameraman
period
is
of
having
peak
trouble
heating
following
in
it.
the Earth's atmosphere.
I mean, it
first
makes
tug
sense
of
why they
gravity
would.
being felt by Integrity's astronauts since their launch back on April 1st.
Rick, what planet would you like to visit the most, Jed? That's always a tough one. The easy one is Mars, because we could go to stay and we could build a colony there and we'd easily be able to live there. And a lot of the other planets are too hostile, so I wouldn't really want to go on there. Now, if we could include moons, now that's an interesting conversation, including some of the Galilean moons, because Callisto and Europa and Titan would all be absolutely fascinating ones to go to. And of course, Pluto. I have a soft spot in my heart for Pluto. But if it's just planets, including Pluto being a planet, I'd say Mars. But if we're including Galilean moons, probably Callisto. Only Callisto over Europa because I think it's a little bit farther out in its orbit, so you'd get a much better view of Jupiter. And they are tidally locked, I believe. Most of the Galilean moons are tidally locked, so there's not going to be like Jupiter Rise or anything like that, which would be awesome. But I'd probably say Callisto.
Of the plasma buildup around the spacecraft and the repelling of that heat on Integrity's heat shield.
It's incredibly hot. Ariel, didn't they talk about the heat shield having some problems? Yep, that's what I was talking about. In Artemis 1, there were some minor issues with the capsule test, and they weren't massive. It still made it safely into the ocean, but they've corrected those issues. So that was on a previous capsule, not on this capsule. Lantine, well, it is rendering fast. Lantine, I'm going to tell you which one, not Venus. Yeah, definitely not Venus. I'd rather go to Mercury than Venus, honestly. It'd be safer. Dash, degrees Fahrenheit are especially dangerous to the Canadian astronaut.
Still 2 minutes and
Judas is voting for Titan. Titan would be awesome. Yeah, if we want to go to a moon around Saturn, it would be Titan. Absolutely, no question. You want to visit the sun, Ariel? Just go at night and everything will be fine. Lantine boy, Dash, at those values, it doesn't matter if it's Celsius, Fahrenheit, or Kelvin. The temps are all pretty fucking close. When it's hot, it's hot.
Multiple airborne assets.
Only 50 miles from the ground now. All right, recovery team have visuals on Integrity. That's always a good sign. They're tracking it. And yes, flat earthers were trying to argue that these shots that specifically say visualization in the top left-hand corner were being told NASA was pretending that they were real, even though they put visualization in the corner.
And the Navy fucking desperate. Also
have visuals. Rick, I'd love to see Saturn and its moons. Saturn would be awesome. Going down to the surface, well, there's not really a surface, but going onto a gas giant is so incredibly dangerous that I'd pick a moon of a gas giant. Absolutely. But the distance keeps increasing. It did briefly there, I think, with atmosphere buffering or something like that. But it's down now. It's below 40 miles. I really wish they'd had a distance traveled in the corner. It worked for the first half of the trip when they were heading to the moon. But, well, it was more a countdown in that sense, actually. But, yeah, it's about 500,000 miles. Probably longer than that round trip. That's insane.
We should be out of the blackout period less than a minute.
Lantine's too Canadian to get Fahrenheit jokes. All right, we're almost out of the blackout period, so we should be hearing from the Integrity crew in, they say, a minute. Hopefully a minute. The recovery team does see the Integrity capsule, though, so they would probably be able to tell us, oh, they're getting data. They're processing data. That means there's a partial reconnection of signal.
Landing and support officer reports the small boats are en route to the splashdown target zone.
Lansing, hey, look, all I know about F is that for some dumb reason your 0 is at 32 and temps equalize at -40. I'm used to Fahrenheit, so of course I prefer Fahrenheit, and there are aspects of it that I like. I like the temperatures being in around 80 degrees. Like, I like that range of numbers. They're very clear numbers. We don't really have to use halves like in Celsius or anything like that. But R0 not being freezing, I do agree, is kind of dumb. Celsius having 0 as the freezing point of water, smart. Very smart.
We're getting
that's the same way I feel about the metric system in general as well. A lot of things make sense, like multiplications of 100 the whole way up the line. Makes so much sense. But of course, I've been using
Houston,
the Imperial
comm
system.
check, post blackout.
All right, waiting for a comm check.
Houston, Integrity, we have you loud and clear.
Woo!
Your trajectory is
Signal has
nominal,
been reestablished.
And recovery teams have visual.
Guidance looks good.
Sounds like they're good.
Action for the enabled internal camera controller fail.
Rick, I'm assuming that you could stay alive to see what a gas giant is like on it. Europa Titan and Io seem cool to me too. Io, I would want to visit Io maybe, but I wouldn't stay on Io. It's way too whoa, that is flashing. It's way too geologically active for me. Hey, epilepsy warning, everyone.
Passing 100,000.
Hope no one has epilepsy.
Range to splashdown 19 nautical miles.
Yep, scariest part is done. It's multiplies of 10. Okay, yeah, thanks for that, Lane Team. But yeah, it makes so much more sense with tens and hundreds. It's so easy. Absolutely, I fully agree. Yeah, there's no screaming aerial.
Integrity impact.
Yeah, metric makes sense in space.
Fail is no cab 1 views of the chutes.
Integrity.
We're processing good data through the GPS system. A good view of Integrity. Time to splashdown 4.5 minutes.
They're falling so fast.
And a view of Integrity from the WB-57. We're at 50,000 feet.
They're still ridiculously high. Wonder when they're going to pull the parachute. It's not over yet, folks. The most dangerous part is done, but it's not over yet. I'm still worried.
The pyros are armed for forward bay cover jettison.
All right, what's the altitude? Oh, there they go.
And there go the first series of parachutes. And we're on drogues.
Oh.
And Houston, we're visual 2 drogues out the window.
Oof.
2 good drogue shoots. Next up.
We copy, we see them.
Because they want to slow down gradually. They're going way too fast to stop all at once. So they're doing it in stages.
10 seconds.
Because yeah, these aren't the main shoots yet.
Perfect descent rate according to flight dynamics.
Good rates on 2 drogues.
3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Same on board.
This is a freaky looking camera angle. It's just moving so fast that the background is getting completely washed out. I think it's no, it's during the day. I was about to say maybe it was a night shot, but no, that's definitely during the day. Which makes sense. Time zone wise, I should have thought about that. Are they going to join the Mile High Club? God, can you imagine the Space Club? All right, pilot shoots.
Main chute deploy. We're at 5,000 feet.
They're filling up. Okay. Oof. Rick, Lantine,
Search and
don't
recovery
rain on
beacon
my
has been
parade. I'm just
activated
proud to
on
be an
integrity.
American, to be of the USA. Legatus, for the
And we have
country who
3 good
does
main
no
shoots.
kings yet continues to use the king's imperial
Good
measurements.
3 main shoots.
It is
good
kind of funny
reefing,
how we
good descent
almost
rate.
went
And we
to
see
the
3
metric
good-looking
system during
parachutes.
Thomas Jefferson's presidency. I don't know if you guys know that story. I can tell it later if you guys want. Lantine, yeah, if the main chutes were used, they decelerate by about 10 Gs, which could easily cause loss of consciousness.
Integrity.
Yeah, they
Cabin
want it
pressure
to be as
indicates
gradual
no
as
need for
humanly
hydrazine
possible
check.
to keep them from passing out or dying.
Integrity copies.
Ariel, what are you saying? Come on.
This is a perfect descent for integrity. Its crew sounding hale and hearty on board.
Sounds like everyone's in good shape.
Time to splash down 1 minute, 15 seconds.
Can't imagine watching this, like being in one of these recovery helicopters, watching it come down. Be nerve-wracking and beautiful.
Integrity about to complete a journey spanning 694,481 miles from its launch from the Kennedy Space Center back on April 1st. And
Almost
a trip around the moon.
700,000 miles. It's not in California, Ariel. It's not in California. It's in the ocean. It's in the Pacific Ocean. I wonder what's venting there. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but the capsule is venting stuff. God bless these people. This is amazing. Absolutely, Rick.
Passing
This
through
is
1,000
great.
feet.
1,000 feet. They're damn close to landing. The Pacific Ocean is not California, Ariel. But yes, your point is taken. The time zone was not lining up with my head. Lantine, one of my friends said a joke about their travel. Really? They were nearly part of the Million Mile Club. He said they traveled to the moon and back in less time than it'd take me to drive to Vancouver and back.
Splashdown confirmed.
Copy splashdown. Waiting on VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. From the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to the moon, a new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. Integrity's astronauts.
I like referencing Jules Verne. God. That's so much weight off of me. I'm so glad they made it home because those 4 astronauts are heroes. They're incredible people.
We'll be deploying the crew module uprighting system to maintain that orientation. A perfect bullseye splashdown for Integrity.
It's off the coast near San Diego. It's close. It is close. Ariel, could they be rocket boosters to either slow down their descents or level themselves? They might have been levelers. Absolutely, they could have been levelers. I just didn't know that they did stuff like that, especially with them pointing upward. They were most likely levelers because they want to be slowing down. It might be stuff to help fill up the parachutes, maybe, because the atmosphere is ridiculously thin way up there. So it could be something to help the parachutes deploy properly. But that's just pure speculation on my part.
The unofficial splashdown time, 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m. Central Time. We'll get that refined for you. That would put the end of the mission at a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 31 minutes, 35 seconds.
9 days, 1 hour, and 31 minutes and 35 seconds.
And we're
hell of a
configuring
journey.
for a very low data rate.
Oh, those are the rescue boats.
Once
that's
again,
cool.
Splashdown occurring in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego, at 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m.
Integrity Houston, comm check on VLDR.
They'd have to go full Armageddon or Deep Impact to get a school named after them, Lantine.
We have you the same. We'll meet you over in post landing.
Alright, we're gonna keep monitoring it, and I'm gonna
Perfect
see if they,
communications
how
established.
pickup goes, but
We are
as of right now, Artemis 2 is complete. The 4 astronauts have safely come home after a nearly 700,000-mile journey out beyond the moon and then back, going farther than any human being in the history of mankind. This is a historic mission, and I'm so thrilled to say that it came to a successful and safe conclusion. I'm going to remember this period for the rest of my life, and I hope all of you do as well. Just like what Rick and I were talking about earlier, the pure excitement in space travel that's been reignited in the public has been heartwarming, honestly. It's the biggest white pill because society right now is so obsessed with nihilism. Everyone thinks the end of the world is coming right around the corner, and who knows, it might be. But everyone's so depressed these days. Seeing something like this, though, gives me hope for the future. And it especially gives me hope seeing other people get excited about it and have hope as well. It's the biggest white pill moment that I've seen in my lifetime, because I'm quite young. I'm only 27, or I'm 26. Why did I say 27? I'm 26, and this feels like the most positive, world unifying thing that I've ever seen. And I think that's absolutely incredible. There's still, of course, crazy things going on in the world. This doesn't erase those. NASA's future is in jeopardy right now with the budget cuts and everything like that. But it's wonderful to see this much unity across the globe. And yes, the globe. It's really, really quite heartwarming. I know that's a dramatic phrase to use, but it's the way I feel. It's absolutely the way I feel. Dash, I'm sure they're eager to pop the hatch 9 days sealed in with the smell of burning space toilet. Yeah, they definitely want to get out of there. Legata, safely finished? No, I'll wait till after they come out and and pass post-medicals before I personally make that call. That's absolutely fair. That is absolutely fair to do. Lansing, between Armageddon and Deep Impact, I used to prefer Armageddon, but not thanks to hard sci-fi. I'm more of a fan of Deep Impact since it's more realistic. I need to rewatch Deep Impact because I only watched it once when I was very, very young, and I was too young to watch it and it scared me, so I've just never gone back. But I've seen Armageddon many times. It's a fun movie that makes no sense. Dash, Jed has been replaced by a round earther, doesn't even know his own age. Yeah, I don't know why I suddenly forgot how old I was for a second. Alright, let's switch back to the game. And I'm still watching it. We'll tune back in probably once they're safely coming out of the capsule. Legatus, and to think the NHL had no game scheduled today for this, that's awesome. Canceling games for this is, I think, a great sign, because they know people will be watching. Alright.
Bow to the better fighter.
Alright, I gotta check in with Dwayne. Ariel, well, Deep Impact felt like it was more of an Earth effect instead of USA. Fair. Legatus, oh, did everyone remember their Planet of the Apes costumes? I hope so. I got mine right there, ready to go. Oh, there's nearly a hockey game up in Canada, Lansing boy. I'm glad it didn't happen. Oh, there's some sort of boss here. Oh yeah, this lava dude. Alright, we're checking in with Unka now. I always want to sing the Oompa Loompa song from Willy Wonka when I hear that name. The dumbest thing about Armageddon had to be, why is it easier to train miners to be astronauts rather than the opposite? Yeah, absolutely. It's not like they had to be particularly precise or worry about tectonic plates or anything like that, which I could have seen an argument for if it had been something like that. But At most, send Bruce Willis with a group of astronauts. That makes sense. Having an expert there, sure, absolutely sure. But his whole team doesn't make sense. You're absolutely right. You'll have to wear Yeti costumes to fool the Canadian astronaut. Damn. Oh, penguin costumes. Nice. Thank you for the new follow on Kick. Really getting a lot of great follows over there. That's awesome. Alright, we checked in with Unka. Oh, we gotta check in with Yan next. I do like Yan as a character, but he is just a big steaming pile of shit. Ariel, but they did land one plate in Armageddon. On one plate. Those aren't tectonic plates, Ariel. Yes, there was a... well, I can't remember what the material was made of, but they did land on an area that was way denser than they were hoping for, but it's not a tectonic plate. Rick, as the great YouTuber said, the black pill is a suppository? Who said that? That's great.
And there's Yan.
The Orion capsule is flashing out the window at the rescue crew, signaling that everything's good. Whoa! Alright, who are we checking in with now? We gotta regroup with Shane. Glad he didn't die. We only just met him. Judas, as someone who witnessed the Challenger and Columbia tragedies, it does my heart good to see this near-perfect mission. Congrats to NASA and the brave astronauts. Couldn't have said it better myself. I wasn't alive during either of those missions, but I know how traumatizing those were for an entire generation. They're such tragedies, and what's really sucked is most of the time flat earthers and moon landing deniers are relatively harmless. I mean, on a societal level, it's kind of harming that there's so many of them, but they're not really that harmful day to day. But they've been absolutely disgusting when it comes to the Challenger and Columbia missions. Just saying, oh, we're gonna have another one of these to reinvigorate the world about this, like just acting like that all those deaths were part of the fakery and that those lives weren't valued. It's really disgusting to see how all those people talk about those missions. The Columbian Challenger. It's foul. Razorfist said that. Okay. I don't watch a whole lot of Razorfist, not because I have any strong feelings about him one way or another, but that is a great quote from him. Ariel, that's what the ant overlords want us to think? Alright, who are we doing? Alright, we're just taking out a bunch of people. We're liberating it. Alright. Taking out as many people as we can. Dude, let me have a turn. Lantine, you'd have been alive for the Columbia tragedy, just super young, Jed. Oh, when was Columbia? Because I thought they were both in the 90s. Was Columbia in the 2000s? I don't know the exact dates of them, unfortunately. Alright, rescue boats are circling the capsule right now. Alright, we're moving on. 2003, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why I thought Columbia was in the 90s. Then yes, I was alive for it, I was just too young to remember it. Alright, what's next? There's several camps nearby that need to be reclaimed, so I'm wondering if I'm going to do them one by one. Oh no, I'm going after the leader of the Black Bears right now. Challenger was 86, so I was entirely wrong about both of them. Okay. Oh, this guy's tough. Woof. I only need another hit. Yeah, definitely wasn't alive for Challenger. Alright. Where is he hiding? Whoa! I didn't do anything. I don't know why I tackled him. Oh, I must have been holding down the A button. Sorry, my guy. Judas, you live in Texas and saw the trail from Columbia's destruction and heard the sonic boom explosion. So those ghouls who deny it can fuck off. That's insane, Judas. Wow. Oh. Yeah, the people who don't believe it happened, I think it's the Challenger one, where the Flat Earthers think they found the astronauts alive under new identities, and they've constantly harassed those people for the last, like, 15 years. Saying, hey, why won't you tell us that you're actually this astronaut who faked his death? And it's vile, the amount of harassment that they do for these people. They're trying to take these people into court. I'm not kidding. They're trying to take this matter to court to prove these lookalikes are the astronauts. Rick, I worked with a guy who worked at NASA when the Challenger accident occurred. He said it was extremely somber after that. I can imagine. I mean, Challenger, Columbia, and Apollo 1 are massive American space travel tragedies. And as tragic as they are, they were important for us to fix problems, and that's why these astronauts, even Artemis 2 and all astronauts, are such incredibly brave people. They're literally willing to lay down their lives in service of the pursuit of science and the advancement of humanity. That's why I call them heroes. Even if they, aren't directly saving lives, they're fully willing to give up their lives for a cause greater than themselves. And what's more heroic than that? Yes, Lantern Boy. Apollo 1 burned on the launch pad. There was some issue with the... like, something shorted out, and there was something wrong with the door where they couldn't open it to escape. So they were trapped in the capsule. It's a horrible way to die. NASA right there, nearly at their fingertips, unable to help them. Lantern Boy, absolutely. The abort system wouldn't help because they weren't even really launched yet. It was just the door. The door was busted. And without the door, can't get out. Yeah, not enough people know about Apollo 1's tragedy. And a lot of my generation don't know about Challenger and Columbia, really.
Let's make a fucking mug out of Mjolnir's skull.
Fuck. One of the Grey Mains. Oh, here he is, the leader of the Black Bears.
I was growing bored.
What really sucks with, these people being vile, they're not just flat earthers being vile. There are people who think this is a waste of time, that space travel's completely pointless, being vile like this. There was a Twitter account that went viral because it was called All Day Astronomy, I think. I've seen them every now and then, but never really paid attention. When they posted that the splashdown was happening today, they're like, the splashdown of Artemis 2 will take place at this time. They used a shot of Columbia exploding as their marketing for rage bait purposes. And yes, they know everything's real and everything like that. They're an astronomy channel, but they're using the tragedy to rage bait and farm engagement. Rage baiting, I think, is one of the most vile things a person can do, and to weaponize the tragedy of Columbia to get clicks on Twitter is absolutely vile.
Let's go get us a skull mug.
Absolutely right, Deckard. So many space advancements in technology are a direct response to the space programs, like CT scans. Even life improvement things like Velcro is because of the space program. Lantine Boy, at least with Columbia and Challenger, their disintegration would have been near instantaneous, so they wouldn't have suffered, or not for too long. But burning alive in a Doom's capsule is terrifying. You're absolutely right. At least we can, you know, take heart that the Columbia and Challenger victims didn't suffer for long. The Apollo 1 astronauts.
Let's end it for real this time.
Alright, here we go. The whole game has been building up to this, and we're not even halfway through the story yet. Oh, excellent point. Excellent point, Rick. I will use that argument from now on if that's alright, but that is an excellent point about how they directly save lives. I love that. Absolutely love that. I don't know if I've seen you in the chat before, Rick, but you're awesome, man. Love having you here. We're almost done with phase 1, so I'm certain that there are more phases to this fight. Fighting a lot of bosses tonight? It seems like it. This is a climactic moment in the story, I guess. Oh, just real quick before I forget, Jared Isaacman, excuse me, the leader of NASA, he's awesome. I've loved how he's handled this entire thing and how he's been handling social media. He's been doing an excellent job. But he responded to a 10-year-old girl's handwritten note to NASA about requesting Pluto be reinstated as a planet, and he said, "I am looking into this." So, you know, the IAU is what declassified Pluto as a planet back in 2006. So that's International Astronomical Union. So he doesn't have authority over them, but he can at least get NASA to recognize it as a planet, and that will be a huge step in getting Pluto back as a planet. Because I think it should be, even if it's just a different classification of planet. Gas giants and rocky planets are already two different types of planets. Pluto has way more in common with Earth than Jupiter does. So if we just call dwarf planets actual planets, we'll have a third category. That's totally fine. And I don't care that with Pluto comes 4 other planets. I want to study those other planets too. Dwarf planets are just dismissed by a lot of researchers. And after New Horizons went to Pluto, we found that it shouldn't be ignored. It's fascinating. So I really hope he actively pursues that once he has time. Of course, he's got way more important things to do right now, but...
What? Got something to say?
You little cunt.
They've been pulled out? I've been watching the feed. We'll switch over to it. Lane Team Boy.
Doing this with frequency, sending
I mean,
to the moon.
it doesn't look like. Really?
Start building our base.
Yeah, are we going to build on the momentum?
Yeah, it's an interview with
Artemis 3
Jared Isaacman right now, and that's why I was thinking about him. But I didn't see the.
I can't wait to get the crew.
I didn't see the hatch pop. Oh, the hatch did pop. I can see it.
But also getting
I missed it
on this ship, so we can start taking a look at it, because all that data is so precious to us right now. I mean, we are going to definitely want to take a good look at the thermal protection system. We're going to want to download all the data they couldn't transmit back to us and use that to inform Artemis 3. But we're already making progress, right? You had SRB segments already showing up at KSC. Core stage for Artemis 3 is rolling out on April 20th.
Yeah, they're already moving on Artemis 3, and I love that. That really supports the claim that they'll be ready for Artemis 3 next year.
On a mission well accomplished for Artemis 2, and at the same time, we got to start getting ready for 3.
Amazing. And last question, you know, for people who joined us for all 10 days to see what we can accomplish together with our international partners.
Yeah, I didn't see them climbing out. All the shots have been from the capsule of a distance.
That we're going to keep doing
Judas, part of the tragedy of Challenger was the teacher who was on board. Yeah, she was a civilian, so somehow it hit a bit harder being a civilian. Absolutely. She wasn't trained for that. It does feel like more of a tragedy because she wasn't trained for it. It sucks, but that is the way a lot of people see it. Judas, yeah, please let me tell Neil deGrasse Tyson if they do reinstate Pluto.
I was
I'm going to be in
meeting
line
with the Italian
right
Space
there
Agency. We
with you,
signed
Judas,
a memorandum
to
of
let him know.
understanding to build a
Lansing, even more
habitation
tragic
module
about
on the
Challenger is
moon.
how
And
they
you have
didn't even
countries,
make it to space
all of
before
our
they
allies and partners
ultimately,
coming
the
together
ultimate
saying,
tragedy.
we are committed
Absolutely.
to this effort.
It
We are
sucks that they didn't
returning to
even
the
make it
moon.
all the
We're
way.
doing it to
Columbia,
stay.
at least,
We are
they
building
got to
that
see
enduring
some
presence. We are gonna
incredible
master the
sights.
skills on the surface
Thank
of
you
the
for the
moon,
new
so
follow
someday
on
we can
Kit.
undertake missions to Mars. It's just an incredibly exciting time, and we're not going at it alone. We're bringing everybody along with us.
Absolutely. And speaking of everyone, one more time, we're going to ask the crew
I don't know
here,
how you guys
ready
feel
to
about
land on the
this,
moon?
but if the current plan goes through, if the proposed budget cuts to NASA don't go through, and we keep on schedule with Jared Isaacman's plan to the moon and Mars, I would say this is the golden age of space travel. Yes, the Apollo missions were incredible, and the getting men into orbit and everything like that. The space race from the 60s, absolutely incredible. But now we're going to stay. I think this is more exciting, or at least on par. It's at least on par with the space race. In my lifetime, we'll probably have men on Mars. A permanent base on Mars. I'll probably be, a little bit older by the time they start letting more and more people go instead of just highly trained astronaut people. But there's always the possibility that in my lifetime, commercial travel to the moon could be affordable. Can you imagine that? That'll shut up a lot of flat earthers. Or they'll just pretend that everyone's in a drug-induced coma with shared hallucinations or some shit like that.
We now have confirmation that the vehicle
Lanty, I guess it was just them popping the hatch
per
open
the
then.
procedures, so we have vehicle powered down, and the flight control team here in Houston, Flight Director Rick Henfling, has handed over mission authority to the Exploration Ground Systems
Oh, you got
team
confused hearing
out
me?
of the
Sorry,
Pacific.
man.
Now,
Sorry, I was
we will
distracting you.
Physically
So
not get off console.
I don't know if
with
they're
this
still in the
team
capsule
until
or
the crew
not.
has been extracted into the front porch. That inflatable raft
These transitions are awful. I thought something exploded when I first saw that.
In the next step in the
Don't do that again. Jesus. Stop doing those zooms. I hate those zooms. It's awful. Yeah, I don't think they've recovered the crew yet. They're still just have the capsule open, getting some fresh air. I'm sure they just were eager for some fresh air after all that time. 9 days and 700,000 miles. Yeah, they've earned some fresh air. Probably just sitting back, enjoying that breeze.
All of the entry events went by the book. No issues. Perfect trajectory for integrity. That was culminated with one final raise burn to improve the angle of attack for the vehicle as it entered the Earth's atmosphere. All of that flight dynamics computation.
Yeah, I don't think they're out yet, but I'm not sure.
Worked like a charm.
They're definitely not going to abandon the capsule. They want to recover the data on it and probably autopsy it. Lanting, yeah, it makes sense. I believe they were saying that they had to pull out the crew in a chopper. Okay, so didn't miss the crew actually coming out, thank God. I was worried about that. It might still be a few minutes away, so we'll check back in with the game. But as long as it's not too distracting for you guys, I'm going to leave the audio on.
Integrity and begin the process of erecting.
If it's too distracting, we can mute it like we have been.
Which we'll see,
Dash, they're just extracted to the front porch near the hatch. Yeah.
Hatch of Orion.
Oh, come on, we need a phase 2.
Inflatable raft before they're hoisted aboard,
come out as a giant lava monster or something.
In
oh yeah, he's definitely gonna jump back out.
Configurations. Each crew member will be hoisted in fashion, in alternating fashion. 2 crew members for each helicopter before they turn around to head back to the John P. Murtha. Once on
here we go.
Ship, they'll be brought into medical bay for comprehensive medical exam.
All right, I'm gonna switch to frost instead of fire. I should have been doing that the whole time, but.
Excellent shape.
You tasted true power at last.
Alright, my new frost attack wasn't that good against him. I thought it was worth a try. Woo!
Some 26.5 minutes.
He's Lava Girl. Where's Sharkport?
In the Pacific, the vehicle is in excellent shape. It performed like a champ all the way down through the Earth's atmosphere. All of the vehicles.
Woo! What the fuck is happening? I cannot see. I cannot see what I am doing.
Parachutes all deployed as planned. Splashdown occurring at 7:07 p.m. Central Time. 5:07
Woohoo! Hello, fella. Oh, man. He went full Bane on my back there.
A bit of a tussle to try to establish a communications link with the recovery team. We were finally able to run through the procedures for the powering down of the vehicle. We've handed over mission authority to the exploration ground systems folks out in the Pacific. And,
woo! Alright, phase 2. There's got to be a phase 3. Come on.
Shortly to erect the inflatable raft called the front porch before opening the hatch to integrity to bring.
You're damn right I'm stubborn. And that challenge is glitched on screen.
Onto 2
You're running away,
crew members for each
bastard.
before they're flown back to the deck of the USS John P. Murphy.
That dude has a purple nose.
Go on, you cunts, you fuckers. A sack of gold to whoever takes his head.
So he is running away from me. That coward.
Tear the bastard limb from limb. Useless bastard.
Alright, Cliff, it's time to take him down. I dropped my sword.
Anyone? Finish him now! Destroy him!
That's why you don't let bad guys live.
More! I just needed more!
Yeah, it's a really weird sword, Lansing. The only reason I'm using it is because it has such incredible stats, but it looks funky. There should be no piercing damage, all slashing damage, but still, I'm still impaling people with it. Alright, do I have to climb back up to get phase 3? Or is he gonna fully escape and I have to deal with him later on in the story? Because we're only halfway through the story. Oh shit. Did they actually take me out? Incapacitate me? Fuck, they did. We still won the battle, though.
The battle?
The sound for the stream is on, but
You need more
looks like they're not talking. A blunt sword hurts more. Dash, is that a Robin Hood Prince of Thieves reference?
He fled. East. We'll deal with
Nuka's
the
great.
rest.
No one decided to take off my helmet.
Rest up.
They just let me keep that on. Lantern Boy, I just gave you deja vu. Why is that? And it's deja vu from like 3 years ago, really? Judas, in 2002, a 72-year-old Buzz Aldrin was ambushed by a moon landing conspiracy nut. He called Aldrin a coward and a liar, and Aldrin punched him square in the face, a boss at 72. I didn't know it took place in 2002, but I have heard that story before, and
This is Mission Control, Houston.
yeah, the way that flat
after
earthers
talking
feel
to, the
justified
flight dynamics folks,
stalking
we have a
astronauts
bit
and
of a
people who they
refinement
think are
on the,
astronauts and
splashdown
NASA
time
employees
for
and
you.
stuff like that is
Their
vile.
computation
That's when things
shows
start
the
to get
splashdown
dangerous.
time
Dash carved their hearts out with a spoon, so it was a
PM Central Time.
Prince of Thieves
7:07
reference.
and 27 seconds PM Central Time.
Oh, and we are playing as Unka now. He's just been unlocked as a playable character, it looks like. Whoa. Alright.
That would equate to...
Let's see how fighting as him works.
9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds. Once again, from Flight Dynamics, a splashdown time of 7:07 and 27 seconds PM.
I'm not getting this
Central Time.
challenge.
That would equate to a mission
I got
elapsed
close,
time
17
of 9
out of 30.
days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds.
I think he does not have the same abilities, I don't think. Oh, no, he does. Alright, that's what dash attack is like.
The Pacific indicate
and yeah, he has different weapons,
the
so his power-ups
team
would
in
be different.
Communications with the crew aboard Integrity, that the crew remains in excellent shape as they await the
Lantine, I swear I remember watching a video where someone called their sword damage being more piercing than slashing, yet it used to for mostly slashing in a volcanic area. Really? That is some major deja vu.
Ah, there's one of your comrades.
They literally call the inflatable life raft the front porch. Did you know that's what it was called, Dash? Or were you just joking? Because it's actually called the front porch.
They're likely holed up somewhere
Again,
close.
no issues with Integrity. The vehicle is powered down. All of its systems are now safed. We have handed over mission authority to the exploration ground systems folks in the Pacific. But we will not.
They're getting really close.
Stand down.
Oh, you did quote them? Okay. But
the entry flight control team depart
that crew is getting really close. That boat is getting super close. So I'm thinking it's about to happen.
Raft. The front porch is erected, the hatch open, and the crew exited the vehicle. So that's the next step in the recovery process.
I thought you were just joking, Dash.
Of the crew members, for 2 crew members for each helicopter, they'll be hoisted to a pair of Navy helicopters.
2 helicopters, 2 per 2 astronauts per. Lantine, damn, it takes a while for them to power down a spacecraft.
Circling the vehicle to make
well, while I'm doing this, I'm going to actually write down that note that you gave me earlier, Lantine Boy. That was Solar Expanse. The Space Exploration Manager. Explore the solar system, mine and drop asteroids, colonize and terraform, lead the space race, and compete with other corporations on your way to profit. Watch the expanse of the human race over centuries. So is this a inventory management system or a game like the new Voyager game? I'll have to tune into it. I just wrote it down to make sure I didn't forget it. We're getting long pauses from the NASA broadcast. I guess they don't have anything more to say. They're just like, yep, everyone's safe. You want us to repeat everyone's safe? Yeah, we'll repeat it. So every few minutes, they're like, yep, everyone's still safe. All right. I guess they're just hanging out there for a while. Yeah, they haven't gotten close enough for the astronauts to crawl out yet. Oh, they're getting close. They're about to latch on, it looks like. Here we go. And there's handholds. Something like that. Little bars for them to hook those onto. At this rate, using an oar would be more efficient. I'm not sure how to qualify its management system. The closest type it is a city manager, but even that ain't completely accurate. So it's kind of its own thing. Okay. I'll definitely check it out. I like things being original. They've got their spanking paddles ready for aliens. Dash. You know, one of my favorite aspects of the current conspiracy theory trend that's going on, there's so many bad parts of it, like them making light of dead astronauts, tragically fallen astronauts, but the people who think Steven Spielberg was hired by the Illuminati to make Disclosure Day this year to prep the public for the idea of a real Disclosure Day where Trump announces that aliens are real.
This is Mission Control Houston. Once again, you're
That's
watching
a wild
the
conspiracy.
Initiation of the recovery of the Artemis crew aboard
Lantine, Voyager across the unknown is kind of close, but not really. Okay.
The fast boats are now approaching the spacecraft.
Right, they got their hooks. Are they going to make it this pass?
The vehicle has been powered down. Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling now waiting for the life raft, the front porch, to be erected along the side of the vehicle.
Okay, so they have to erect
can be opened and
the front porch before those guys hook on, so they're just looping around, standing by.
One by one into a pair of Navy helicopters for a short flight back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha. If you missed it earlier,
yeah, they're still in for a long day because they gotta travel to Houston and get medically checked out, probably go into quarantine, everything like that. They're not going to get to rest for another week or two probably, and then I would go comatose. I'd say, I'm going home, nobody bother me for at least 24 hours. 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds. That's the refined mission time. When's that front porch coming out, boys? Let's get them safely out of there. Oh, last week on Saturday Night Drive-In, when we were talking about Project Hail Mary, I mentioned I think I was okay not watching it in theaters again, wait until it came out digitally. I did mention that there was a friend coming into town later on this month that wants to see it, so we'll see it with her then. But I realized this week, that's not true. I need to watch it again. So I'm going to be watching Project Hail Mary for the 5th time this Sunday. And I'm going to watch it next weekend as well with that friend coming into town. So it looks like I'm going to watch it 6 times in theaters. And then it comes out on digital. I think they announced April 28th. And that's the next weekend after that. So I'm literally going to watch it every week it was in theaters. Every weekend that it was in theaters, including an early screening, because I watched it 1 week before it came out. This might actually be an addiction, not going to lie. Dash. They're making sure the astronauts prove they know their name and birthday before they let them out. Make sure they're not possessed by some Goa'uld type alien. Lantine, it took 6 days to get to the moon and 3 days to come back. I'm not sure why that is. That's interesting. Was the slingshot more efficient with the moon? Were they not worried about being as precise because their target was a lot bigger? I'm not sure the reason why. That's interesting. Dash, you have been out there for 60 years. What do you remember? It's easier to fall back to Earth than fly away. True. Earth is a much bigger gravitational force, so it's more like falling, just like you said, falling. So that does explain it. No, that makes sense. You're not fighting gravity. Because, yeah, the moon's gravity started to influence them on the way there, but it was only a little bit. I'm sure the Earth's gravity was still pretty strong on them. So, no, great point. Legatus, I'm still surprised that we all, with all the heat of re-entry, there was not more steam coming from around the capsule with water contact. Yeah, I'm not sure why that would be. I'm sure it cools down a lot in the atmosphere once it gets past that stage. The air contact probably cools it down a lot before it splashes down. To be fair, they did spend a full day on Earth orbit too before leaving to the moon. That's true.
Assets out at sea in the Pacific.
All right, we're going to leave the sound on. When those boats got close, I thought they were about to get picked up, but we still need to erect the front porch.
The crew is in excellent shape. No issues. They're just currently biding their time, waiting for the front porch to be erected. We have no hazardous...
If the sound from the broadcast is ever too distracting, I can mute it.
No hazardous situation with the vehicle. It
Convection is real good at heat transfer.
From entry interface to its splashdown in the Pacific at 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. And as you can see, the phalanx of recovery personnel now pulling up alongside of Integrity.
Ludwig's mine.
Alright, we're going out to Ludwig to make sure he stays down. I'm still not sure how he escaped us before. One thing I do want to check, is his inventory different?
For several years.
No. Okay, his inventory does match what I had before. I can't put on... Oh yeah, it's unequipable. It's for Cliff probably. But I want to see if I can put this on him. Yes, I can. Alright, I just want to show you guys this. I picked this up last night after I streamed. I got the constellation helm, which means... Whoop! Sorry, guys. I have no idea what the fuck that was. There we go.
At this hour, some 41
they
minutes
have
following
a
splashdown,
full
the vehicle
star
has been powered down.
map,
There's no hazardous gas
and I can check
emanating from the vehicle.
constellations
That's why
in certain
the
areas.
first,
Like that's the
team of
constellation
recovery
I
personnel
mapped
has been
out.
able to pull
But they have the
alongside,
Milky
Integrity.
Way band
And,
all the
reports
way
continue to come
around.
in that the 4 astronauts are
This
in
is
excellent shape.
gorgeous. There's not a whole lot of point for this. Like there are some side activities that you can use this for, but they just thought this was cool and let me have it. And I love them for that. And the grand music that they put in here. Oh. There's some stargazers on the dev team, that's for sure.
Yes.
I need to get out my telescope. It's been too long. That is beautiful. Alright, I'll stop being a dork about that.
What's wrong with you?
That guy said, "What's wrong with me?"
Some glare you have.
I'm just some dork looking at the stars. Convection is real good at heat transfer, and radiation ain't that good, but it's the only method of cooling when in space itself. Makes sense. Dash, I think they use a blade of heat tiles that shed much of the heat instead of absorbing it. I mean, that is the purpose of the heat shield, so that makes sense.
You'll not find many things in this.
Alright, I'm gonna pick up this as well, just since it's here. Dash, see, the game's fake sky is realer than the real fake sky.
Piss off, Fleabag.
In my books, I talk a little bit about the heat shields used in shuttles down to the Earth's surface. They're specifically just shuttles that go from the Earth to an orbital station where you can get on a deeper space vessel to get to Mars and stuff like that. And I talk about how they managed to make a blade of heat tiles like what you're talking about out of a tungsten bismuth compound, because tungsten is incredibly durable, but the problem is its melting point is way too low. So that's when the bismuth comes in.
Hey Rob, yes I can hear you. Thank you. Yeah, we're back here on the bow. A discovery ship where there are still plenty of people.
I think we can see the front porch. It's a really bad camera that they have right now.
Everyone is seeing on their screen now. The Orion spacecraft, Integrity.
Nope, okay. I thought we saw it, but that was just a really bad angle, so it was actually just the other ship.
As Rob has been saying, in those recovery boats, NASA and Navy personnel specifically trained to get the astronauts out of Orion.
Alright, so Unka's going after the jackals.
One of them stood out, had a bloody stump for a hand.
Alright, so Ludwig is close.
In some of our wide shots, you can probably see that there are 6 boats out in the water. More than 40 people out in the water right now on those boats.
Alright, tracking. Where'd you go? Does he have a lantern? Yes, he does. Alright, they went this way. Hopefully he's not too far. Oh, they are pulling alongside. I don't see any front porch, but I think they're pulling astronauts in.
First order of business.
Or no, they're trying to reach into the capsule. Okay.
Front porch and the stabilization collar. You might also
okay, so they're reaching out there to help with the front porch, it looks like.
Basically just to make sure that Orion stays upright, doesn't sway in the water too much, again, to make it easier for recovery forces to get the astronauts out.
That makes sense.
Again, we splashed down to the Pacific Ocean just after 5 p.m. Pacific time here.
Okay, it looks like it's going to take them a minute to set up the front porch. They've opened up something.
Be able to get the crew out of Orion.
It's really hard to tell. They got those hooks into the side of it there, so they're moored to the capsule.
So plenty of time. No rush either. You know, I was speaking to NASA flight surgeon Rick Schuring earlier in this broadcast, and he said to me, you know, no rush to get the crew out. Just want to make sure that they're feeling good. And whenever they're ready to take their step out of Orion and onto that large raft, the front porch, folks will be ready.
They might be close, so I think this will be a great opportunity to briefly talk about the sponsor of today's stream, Plotter.
This video is sponsored by Plotter. Every writer knows the drill. Staring at a blank page, characters ghosting you mid-plot, timelines unraveling like a bad sweater. That endless loop of what happens next, sucking the joy out of your story. I lived it. Outlines and chaos, competing storylines driving me mad. For the longest time, my notes were thick, blocked-out paragraphs, and my outlines were never-ending bullet points that stretched for more pages than my first drafts. Then I found Plotter, my plotting lifeline. Visual timelines that snap into place, drag-and-drop scenes to tame the wildest arcs, character sheets that keep everyone on track. It turned my latest novel, a 200,000-word juggernaut with multiple character perspectives and solar systems worth of lore, into an easy-to-understand, trackable project, complete with the series Bible, multi-track storylines, and lore documents that make world-building a breeze. And check out their latest feature, a seamless note-taking system for all those story and character ideas that don't have a home yet. Available for free to all users of the Plotter app. For pro users, your notes and files will automatically sync across devices with cloud storage. If you're tired of the plot purgatory, use my link or scan the QR code to get Plotter for life with a single payment of $150. Your epic won't write itself, but with Plotter it'll flow like never before. Link in the description. Let Plotter help you conquer your stories.
Have a recovery personnel.
Yeah, I've never watched the whole extraction phase of a splashdown either, Lantine Boy. It looks like they've opened a hatch on the side, and one of the Navy personnel did climb into it, so they might be inside the capsule right now. They put some sort of yellow sheet over the door. I don't know if that's padding to prevent it from slamming shut, or somehow a life preserver of some kind. But they should be coming out soon, or at least the front porch should be deployed soon, because it's the Navy personnel who are going to do that.
Again, that one that's right up against Orion, those are the divers that will go in to the spacecraft to check on each of the astronauts. These other boats will begin doing a number of things, putting on that stabilization collar onto Orion, building that front porch. Eventually, they will retrieve the parachutes, as well as tow Orion back to the well deck of the recovery ship here.
Dash, lately a splashdown usually means they're virtually immobile after a long stay on the station. It's only 9 days this time, so they can actually scramble out. That's true, yeah. If you've been on the ISS for months, your muscles will have atrophied no matter how much you exercise, which can mitigate the damage. But yeah, I'm sure they're not quite used to Earth gravity.
The Navy and
but
NASA
9 days is
personnel
probably not enough for any significant atrophy to take place.
Of the crew inside of Orion. Why don't we toss it back to Rob for an update?
Yeah, thank you, Megan. Here in Mission Control, Flight Director Rick Henfling and the entry team of flight controllers still on duty. The vehicle has been powered down for some time now. There are no hazardous gases emanating from integrity. That, of course, allowed
Lantine, they could still have lost some muscle mass since they couldn't exercise at all. They did actually have exercise equipment, Lantine boy. They showed some of them working out. It's mostly resistance bands and stuff like that, but they were working out. They had a gym and I think a bike in there, but 9 days is probably not enough for significant atrophy to show up at all. It's still enough atrophy to be weak for a day or two. Really? Is it that quickly?
Before they're hoisted
Interesting.
into 2 hovering Navy helicopters.
Yeah, I'm sure they're exhausted no matter what, even without atrophy.
For a short flight back to the deck.
They're just sitting back and letting the Navy do it.
All of Integrity's systems operated flawlessly throughout the course of the approach to the Earth.
All right, we'll keep
entry into
playing
the
for a
Earth's
few minutes.
atmosphere and all of the key milestones that followed in this high-speed return to Earth for Integrity. A mission that spanned more than 694,000 miles from the vehicle's launch from the Kennedy Space Center atop the Space Launch System back on April 1st.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Lantine boy. A day or two feels a little too quick for noticeable atrophy to take place, but, you know, you can't compare being in a coma or something like that to being in space for the level of atrophy that occurs. Maybe relatively weakened, Dash says, but probably not mobility issues level. Yeah, that sounds about right. Lantine, I know that when I was immobilized for a week due to an injury, I was a bit weak when finally leaving the bed. And you had gravity to contend with, even during that week, so... They're exhausted, no matter what. I mean, I would be. I don't know how well you can even sleep. Because a lot of astronauts on the ISS report it's really weird sleeping without gravity. Probably takes a while to get used to. And they're working ridiculously hard. Alright, it should be clear to walk up here.
As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the last time that the Apollo program saw a splashdown in the Pacific was Apollo 17 back on December 19th, 1972.
1972
so
was the last splashdown?
53 and a half years. We have reenacted that with the arrival of Integrity's astronauts as they flew around the moon in that historic lunar flyby.
Alright, it's saying Ludwig's right in there.
Began with a trans-lunar injection burn that took them out of Earth orbit following 24 hours of a high Earth orbit trajectory. The high Earth orbit trajectory enabled flight controllers here to have a full 24 hours to evaluate the systems on Integrity and the conditions.
Well, they cut off his whole arm. I thought it was just his forearm down.
I was hoping that took your head.
One-armed Ludwig. They call him actually one-armed Ludwig. That's funny.
Gift I left on the road.
Yeah, that was weird to me, Lantine boy. It was weird to me that they mentioned that. Oh, returning from the moon? Okay, no, that makes sense. Oh, shit. I'm gonna retry that. I should have the pills, but I'm just going to retry that. Just the way they phrased it made it sound like this was the last capsule that came down, but the shuttle mission wasn't active until the 80s, I thought. So, yeah, thank you for correcting me on that, Lantine boy. I just went with it.
See the little gift I left on the road. They should be great.
Thor 2 is oddly strong. Yeah, he doesn't have as much power, and he's missing an arm. I'm not used to a double-handed axe style.
I can't cliff's face. When I send him ahead of his precious...
Another boss fight, too. Even a repeated boss. Jesus. Oh, that's right. SpaceX is using capsules, too. I guess I just had a brain fart there. Fuck, roll! Why can't I? There we go. Come on, beat him down.
With the side hatch of Orion having been opened to set the stage for the erection of the inflatable light raft, known as the front porch, to be erected alongside the spacecraft for the extraction of the crew. Let's play for you an interview that my colleague made.
Alright, the front porch still hasn't been erected. I'll pause the boss fight as soon as I need to.
David McMahon that explains how this process is unfolding.
Okay, David, so you and some of your team, one last look over of the stabilization collar, correct? Okay, so what is this stabilization collar?
This is what's going to stabilize the capsule out there in the ocean. We don't know how good the weather or the waves will be that day, so this will help prevent any unnecessary occurrences from happening, stabilizing the capsule and the astronauts inside.
So basically this is a float that will go around Orion. I'm assuming that what they're doing right now, these are the lines that will attach the collar onto Orion?
That is correct.
And so what are they doing here?
And we've got the lower line that will secure the inflation device before we inflate it. That gives us the go-ahead that it's secure in space, and then we'll inflate it, and then once that is done, we'll undo all the...
I don't know why I keep saying not enough spirit. I'm not doing anything that should require spirit.
And then this will be secured to the capsule, and the astronauts can safely take their first step out of the capsule onto the front porch.
Okay, and how long will
Come on, just a little bit more.
You should definitely be able to handle this under seconds.
There we go.
And then you just mentioned the front porch, so basically
Hell
after they
yeah.
set up this
Let this be the end of him.
then they set up what's called the front porch here.
That's correct.
Okay, and what's the front porch?
Front porch is basically a bigger waiting room for the astronauts to sit in while we wait for the helicopters to show up and grab them.
Okay, so the medical team that was inside with the crew, they're going to help them
is he the one who
out
took
and
out
onto the
Jian?
front porch?
That is correct.
And then what happens here?
We have higher trained medical personnel also on board the front porch that will give them lookovers and make sure they're okay while we wait for the helicopters to show up.
Okay, how does it feel, I mean, your team, you, to be part of a mission that's returning astronauts from the moon in more than 50 years?
Well, you were making this place a hell.
Be a part of this, as far as bigger missions.
Yeah, go for the head.
Do great things.
Ho ho ho!
Your team are ready?
Yes, very ready.
I like Unka.
Cool. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alright, just checking, catching up. Judas,
Once again,
I read that if
recovery
future deep
operations
space
are
flights have a
continuing out in the
rotating section
Pacific.
ship like a giant
We,
hamster wheel,
shortly
it could generate a
should
force
see
similar
that,
to gravity and
life
help
raft
reduce
of front
astrophy
porch
risk. So
erected
yeah, what you're
alongside
talking about
the
is
side
called a
hatch
centrifuge.
of the vehicle.
2001 A Space Odyssey featured one, but it's way too small. So with a centrifuge, you need a big enough radius to the spin to make it healthy for humans. Like what you see in 2001: A Space Odyssey is way too small of a spin to be safe. But if you haven't seen Project Hail Mary yet, they actually solved this problem very well in both the book and the film, using a cabling system to take a small ship, divide it up into two parts, and separate them via a long cable, and then start spinning them so that it's still a Hugh crew and get that centrifuge. So yeah, spin gravity is absolutely going to be something that's useful, but if it's not a cabling system, it's going to have to be huge, like a space station, to really be viable. And yeah, centrifuges and spin gravity will absolutely be a key to future space endeavors, most likely in space stations or cabling. But yeah, Project Hail Mary does it excellently. Love their centrifuge system. Lantine says, yeah, the SpaceX capsules, yes, spin gravity, Judas, that is true, but it's currently a lot of useless mass to output in orbit. Yeah, it doesn't make sense in what orbits the ISS is in. It does not make sense for that low of an orbit. You want to be probably far enough away from a large body, so our moon base, you're not going to have a satellite orbiting the moon with spin gravity, most likely. Until we build ships in orbits, or at least in multiple sections that are then assembled in orbit like the ISS, it won't happen. Yes, it needs to be big, and you can't launch something that big all in one go, at least with our current technology. Mass is absolutely an issue. Lantine added on, although technically I did see a theoretical workaround where the ring that would be the source of the spin gravity would be an inflatable ring, although that would have a micrometeor issue. Yeah, that wouldn't be very safe, but it would solve the problem of mass. Why does your character look like an orc? Yes, he is an orc. I'm playing as a different character now. I switched to Unka.
Still open. Again, inside there are now
I don't know why
8 people inside.
There it goes. My stamina started to refill.
4 divers, Navy divers, all with medical
what
training,
are those?
each assigned to an astronaut each.
Observe the constellation. Okay, so there are actual
making sure
constellation
that they're comfortable,
side quests marked. That's good to know.
Good.
And am I in Demonis?
As you've heard us say.
Yeah, this is just the first area, guys. This is where I've spent 90% of my gameplay so far. I've ventured up into this map a little bit, ventured into this one a little less, but there's still this whole area I haven't touched, and this whole area I haven't touched, and all the way up here to Varnia. This map is huge. Some guy was trying to argue that it's secretly small and that the game's using mountains to make you think it's big when it's not.
As we said, the crew
it's absolutely ridiculous that people are trying to negate the scale of this world. The front porch is getting assembled, it looks like. We'll switch to it. Lantine, how much of the map have you explored yet? So it's the difference between this dark gray and this light gray. So everything that's light gray, like all over here, is stuff that I've visited. The dark gray stuff is unvisited, and then this is, you know, beyond the map. So I've uncovered everything in Hernand. I'd say about a third of Paloon and like 5% of Demonis, none of Decelsia, and none of the Crimson Desert itself. That's way less than 50% of the map that I've done. Yeah, it's insane. Oh, here they go. The front porch is getting assembled back there by those guys. It's out of shot right now. At least I think that's what they're doing.
2 steps, and they will be in the front porch.
2 steps and they'll be in the front porch, okay. Yeah, and I just crossed over 100 hours in the game, Lantine boy, and I haven't even done... I think I just hit half of the story, but I haven't done half of the map. It's insane. Yeah, I'm currently at 107 hours according to Steam.
That's a good thing. Again, things proceeding pretty nominally.
Alright. Yeah, they're holding the front porch there. It's not inflated or erected yet, as they keep calling it, but I think that's what they're holding there. Or those might be the stabilizing. That they're ringing it around it. Okay.
Again, the goal, setting up the
is that the front porch?
Collar and the front porch. so that the crew can rest comfortably in the front porch, get placed into harnesses.
It's a long and huge game, yeah. It's massive.
And onto the USS John Murtha here.
Okay, so they're not going away in these boats. These boats are just setting up that front porch so a helicopter can come in and pick up 2 at a time. Well, I mean, two astronauts to a helicopter. Lansing, wonder how Adam is doing with his own Crimson adventure. He's having so much fun with it. He's behind me in the story, but he's explored way more than I have and done way more than I have. He's probably close to 150 hours. And he just did chapter 6, and I'm just finishing up I'm starting chapter 8, I think.
Inside the capsule with the crew,
I can double check
he is reporting all 4 members are green.
Alright, medical confirmation that they're fine. Alright, yep, about to finish chapter 7, and the reports are that there's 14, is what I've heard. So, he's not that far behind me in the story anymore, but he's done way more in the game.
As soon as possible.
Way more bosses, legendary beasts, a lot more side content.
And so, as I was saying, we have 2 helicopters circling the activity.
Alright, once they start inflating those stabilizers, that should be when they're getting real close. And you see the divers are down there. I think that thing actually goes underneath it as well. It's not just strapped to the sides. There's an underneath section, I think, of it as well.
A Navy recovery specialist will be hoisted down into the front porch.
The restricted maneuvering doctrine is in effect.
Will connect to the first astronaut, which...
Alright, we'll check back in with that in a minute.
And then Hilo 2 comes
But Adam just did a 10-hour Crimson Desert stream last night. He's a lot more addicted than I am. I'll say that.
Will come back in for another astronaut, and then Hilo 2 for the last astronaut.
Oh yeah, he can't fly! Unka doesn't have wings. Fuck. It's a good thing that was not a far draw.
I was talking to
parting words with Gian.
Assistant Artemis Recovery Director Paul Sherpinski.
That's Gian's funeral, or like a memorial for him since we've reclaimed the land he led.
Much quicker, safer way to get on board. They did actually consider boats, but then if you think about it, longer time. The crew would have to move through more of the ship. This way, the helos will give a more direct, quicker route to the medical bay for our 4 astronauts.
I've gathered a lot of gray mains. Oh good, I can become Cliff again. I like Unka, but I'm just so comfortable with Cliff now. Take off your helmet, bruh. I should have turned that setting on so he wouldn't have his helmet anymore.
For a clear view from the bow of the recovery ship here.
That chainmail looks great. Doesn't look like a print, it looks like individual links.
You can still see divers in the water there.
This music is great.
Encircling Orion, that is that stabilization column.
That's the end of the chapter. Lantine Boy. And I thought the Legend of Heroes games were long. That's nothing compared to Crimson Desert. The only thing that makes them longer is how they are like 16 games in the franchise, all being 100 hours. Yeah, this game is a lot longer. The people who have platinumed it played for 300 to 350 hours. Alright, are we going to have to play as her more often? We could have played as her earlier, I just didn't want to, and then she ran off to take care of her own stuff in Demonis. So we might re-intersect with her story soon.
About an hour and 10 minutes since splashdown in the Pacific Ocean here.
Reconstructing Payloon. You can prepare to reconstruct Payloon by starting Reconstructing Payloon Quest. This process involves mission dispatch and construction phases, which naturally lead into the next stage of development. If you run into any uncertainty, simply follow the quest objectives to tackle each mission one by one. Okay, so that's a whole bunch of new quests that have been added. Put that there. And what are we looking at? God, there's so... Looks like we're getting close to finishing out the scattered embers, though. Probably just reconstruction quests left. Looks like there's 5 more. Yeah, this town has a town reconstruction. It's an area reconstruction, because Payloon isn't just a town. Payloon is this entire region. This is our homeland, and we've just reclaimed it, so... It's a town reconstruction series of side quests and a territory reconstruction. And there's also base building to a certain extent, camp building, back at Howling Hill. There's so much to do in this game. So many ways to customize your play style. Liberation. Darkness over the Sanctum. Okay, so that looks like it's a Sanctum, yeah, so I can't do those yet. Not until I finish the Witches of Wisdom's quests. Find a person looking for a gray man. Let's do that real quick, because I don't want to start any more main quests, really, just in case I have to interrupt them when the astronauts start coming out. As soon as they get airlifted out, I think we'll call it good.
For now.
Because I still have to watch Star Trek Undiscovered Country tonight. Or something that wanted me to observe it. Because that is the movie that Adam has picked for Saturday Night Drive-In tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Another bounty. Alright, there was something that wanted me to observe it.
The reason
I don't know
why
what
they
it
had to get out
is.
so early is just to stage
Oh, well.
everything. And actually here on the ship, when there are flight operations
Oh, they're
happening,
inflating
you
it?
can't have anything else, right?
Okay.
Just because
So they've inflated the
flight deck
support
can be a dangerous
structures,
place, so they just
and
wanna
I think
focus
that's
on
actually the front porch, the one that they're pushing
planes
into it.
coming and going from the ship, so that's why they wanted to get the boats in the water
That makes sense.
to make sure that they have all the time they needed.
You
for
still
the
have to
flight
watch
ops.
the latest episode of Dr. Stone? I'm not sure what that is. I haven't heard of that show.
And then the same crew here out in the water, they will stay out in the water for a number of hours after
A
we
number of
recover the crew and get them back on the ship, because then they have to recover Orion.
Okay, yeah, they're gonna be... I thought they were saying it was a number of hours till we get the crew out, but no, that's just to recover
All right, that
Orion.
stabilization collar looking good around Orion.
Stabilization
We're now
collar
seeing
is
some
what they're
recovery
calling that,
personnel
and then the
getting
front
on
porch is what they're bringing in. Okay.
to that collar. Again, they need to further attach it to Orion to make sure that it can really prop up the spacecraft. It's basically lifting it up off of the water just a tad. Again,
Then I'm
so
sure
it's not
evacuation
so-
won't take much longer. It's an anime? Okay. Yeah, that's why. I've never really been into anime. I don't have anything against it. I don't really judge weebs unless they take it way too far, and some do. But anime,
So it
yeah,
doesn't sway
I've
so much
tried.
in the
I've seen
water,
some of them, like Vampire Hunter D, the movie, Cowboy Bebop, the anime, not the live action. I saw and enjoyed quite a bit. Seen a bunch of random stuff like One Piece Season 1. I didn't care for it. But,
And now that
yeah,
front
I have a lot of people who are
like
into
it's
anime
really
in my
fully
personal
inflated
life.
as well.
Dermy and Adam love
You
it.
can see a much
They're always,
larger surface
you know,
area.
showing me stuff that I might like to check out. My wife loves it. My wife loves anime. But, yeah, I've just never been able to really get into the art style as
So
much as
once the
anything else,
crew
the animation.
Get out of Orion. They can stretch their legs a
I
little
just feel
bit on
detached
this
from
front
the
porch, Get
characters.
some fresh air.
And people judge me for doing a dub.
And enjoy this beautiful
Because I like to
day
play
here.
other things, video games,
home
do
planet.
work while I watch TV. I'm very much a multitasker, so sub, it just takes too much attention. I don't want to just dedicate time exclusively just to a TV
It
show.
appears teams now are about to connect the front porch to the stabilization collar.
Lantine, there are definitely good anime, but I'm
And at
not
that point, when
into
both are
suggesting
secure,
some.
we should
Okay,
soon
yeah,
see
no, that's fine. I
astronauts
don't need suggestions.
come out of Orion.
Alright, once the front porch is secured, we'll probably start seeing the astronauts crawling out, so should be pretty soon here. Adam is less so a suggester than Dermy. Dermy just recommends Gundam to me. That's the main one. All the different types of Gundam shows.
All these views you
But
see,
Adam,
also being fed
he tells me the ones he
to the
likes, yes,
landing
but he's
force
not like, oh, you have to watch
operations
this. So I don't know if
center here on the ship.
there are any ones that the two you're thinking of, if he's told me about
Of course,
them.
it is very important for our recovery teams leading the mission to have all the views that you're seeing as well.
Gotta be getting close.
Again, listening to their communication loop here on the ship. Very quiet, which is a good thing. It means things are going pretty nominally, meaning as expected.
Leighton, my only suggestion would be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and Code Geass. Definitely heard of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I haven't heard of Code Geass, though. I'm not sure what that one is. And yeah, if I were ever to get into anime, I'd try something shorter. And Full Metal Alchemist, I don't know how long that one is or what that one's necessarily about. My Hero Academia, I probably wouldn't want to watch, because I'm sick of superhero content, period. Even good superhero content, I'm just kind of done with. So that's one that often gets suggested to me, but I'm not interested. And I don't like superheroes as much as I used to in general, not just the tired of it aspect, but
and then they'll be back here on the ship.
superpowers coming out of nowhere bothers me. It hurts my, like, my suspension of disbelief can't just accept, yeah, just people have powers for no reason. Yeah, people just have powers. At least with, like, the X-Men, the mutants, they try to explain it with mutation. With Iron Man, it's power-based. Like, if they're explaining the source of the powers in a logical way, I'm more likely to invest in from what I understand. My Hero Academia is just kind of, oh yeah, people start having powers cuz, and that would bother me a lot. That might not be true, but that's the impression that I've got from what I've heard. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is 63 episodes of 23 minutes. Okay, so that's not long at all. Code Geass is 52 minutes of 20 minutes.
Just about 40 feet
23 minutes.
when they're ready.
Okay.
To pick up each crew member.
Yeah, that's not long at all. When I'm regularly watching stuff like classic Doctor Who and Supernatural. Are people coming out? Those might be Navy personnel. Can't tell what they're moving. I did not think it was going to take this long. They splashed down an hour and 20 minutes ago. But as soon as they get out there, I just want to safely see the astronaut. I think that's the point where we're going to call it, and that'll be about the point where we end the stream as well. And I'm surprised Spectrum's had 0 issues since that first hiccup right as I was about to switch on.
This is Mission Control Houston. Behind me, a fairly raucous scene as hundreds of flight controllers have poured into the flight control room here. This is reminiscent of the scene after the final shuttle mission of STS-135, although that was the end of a program. This is only the beginning of a program.
Dash, the anime Legend of the Galactic Heroes is an epic military space opera, kind of War and Peace type story.
Standing by for the crew to be extracted from the spacecraft.
Is there any such thing as hard sci-fi anime? Because that could get me into it. Absolutely. Lantine, you already heard of Full Metal Alchemist, so I'm going to give you the big point out about Code Geass. It's a political war terrorism drama with mechs and magic powers like the power to give absolute orders under rules. That's a wild premise. It's interesting. I'll have to look into it a little bit more.
And returning safely to Earth. So all of that jubilation, part of the post-splashdown activities, even as we await the crew being extracted from the vehicle to be hoisted onto Navy helicopters for the trip back to the USS John P. Murtha.
All right, we got to be getting close. That front porch is stable. Are they waiting for the helicopters? Because we've been seeing them circle, unless they're different helicopters. They've packed in a lot of people onto that front porch now. Nearly got something from mission control there. Judas, speaking of in-universe science, I like the Farscape translator microbes that are injected and set up the brain, allowing aliens to understand each other. That's an interesting one. They at least tried to explain it, and I appreciate just the effort. I never finished Farscape. I got partway through Season 2. I didn't really connect with the characters, but it definitely looked like they were trying, and the Jim Henson puppet work was phenomenal. I need to try Farscape again. Legatus, you also have to remember they had to clear a large section of the ocean, so no boats of anything within, including themselves, can have it colliding with a recovery ship. The likelihood of that is rare, or unlikely, but yeah, they definitely needed to have open water without trouble. Lanting, hard sci-fi is extremely uncommon in anime. I mean, it's uncommon everywhere. However, I do have something that is kind of close, although it does have the usual. They have FTL drives and use future tech, but the space combat is real. I mean, at a certain point, FTL is necessary for sci-fi, even in hard sci-fi. So FTL in and of itself doesn't bother me as long as they explain it well. Like use warp or wormholes. Starship operators. I'm gonna write down that name. Starship operators. 2005. I'll remember that one. Thank you.
And the initial...
Oh, first astronaut's out. I don't know who it is. One of them crawled out, or walked out. Probably Hansen, if I had to guess. Jeremy.
Jubilation here in the flight control room. The first crew member is out of integrity.
Coming out, good. Yeah, it's probably Christina or Jeremy, if I had to guess. Got to get the diversity Canadian hire out first.
We are expecting the other crew members momentarily to be extracted.
Oh, I think it's Christina. Yeah, I've seen long hair. It's really bad feed, but I think I see long hair, so that would be Christina.
We now have 2 crew members out.
It'll be easy to tell when the pilot comes out, Victor. Planets. Hard sci-fi anime that revolves around the crew of space debris collection craft in the year 2075. Interesting. I assume the commander will be leaving last. That's what I'm thinking as well. Hey, Wiley Dave over in the Kick Chat saying Starblazers was a great space anime. It was renamed as Starblazers 2199 in 2011. Okay. Hail Legatus and welcome in. Alright, we're halfway done.
We're about 1 hour from sunset out in the Pacific. Everything continues to go well. Integrity's systems function perfectly during
I'm going to write down all of these and check them out, because I do want to get into anime. It's such a huge realm of media, and I'm sure there's something I can find to enjoy in it.
Were feeling very well.
Alright, the crew members are all feeling very well. That's always a good sign. I can't tell. Is that Victor Who was the second one out? I think that was Victor. So it was Christina, Victor, and then Jeremy. Man, I had it all out of order. Gotta be Reed that's last, though, the commander.
And now standing by for the commander, Reed Wiseman, who
Yes.
will be last.
All right, we at least got that one right. I got the order all mixed up, but I at least got the last one.
Under almost ideal conditions, Integrity spanned 694,000 miles during its journey from launch to splashdown.
All right, they're all looking good. They all walked out. They had help, of course, just to make sure they were stable on a rocking raft. All right, is that Reed coming out? I think I see him. This feed is very low resolution. Whoa. Don't know what happened with that angle.
And we now have...
Lanting, the commander is pretty close to a captain, so you'd think they go down with the ship. That's what I was thinking. All 4 members, they're all out. All right, we have eyes on all 4 astronauts of the Artemis 2 mission. They're not quite back to mission control yet. They did have a doctor check them out and say everything's okay. So, Legatus, by the standards you were talking about, are you comfortable saying this mission was a success, or are you still waiting for them to end up in Houston?
Once again,
I want to see what you think about that. I feel pretty confident saying that it's a success right now. But that brings us to the end of the stream. Got through the chapter 7 of Crimson Desert with a great battle with the Black Bears and the Jackal. So we're progressing the story, having a great time with the game, and at the same time, the Artemis True crew has safely returned to Earth, and everything seems like it's going well, and I'm very glad. This was an incredibly positive and unifying mission, so having a positive ending was absolutely necessary, and I hope this continues the excitement for space travel that has been reignited in the general public, that will push us forward into the future that Jared Isaacman has laid out with the future of the Artemis programs and to Mars beyond. I just hope that the NASA budget isn't cut like they're talking about. Please don't cut it. This is the point to extend it. Not a 47% drop, the largest dip in budget ever, even more so than the Apollo, after the Apollo era budget cuts. So I'm worried about that, but hopefully enough positivity from the public will be enough to keep them with at least their same budget, if not more so. I'm so glad this went well. Not a whole lot of Artemis coverage. There's no Artemis coverage left, so this era on my channel is unfortunately over. But with every launch, with Artemis 3 and eventually 4 and 5, I will be covering it just like I have here, hopefully without any Spectrum interruptions. But it is over. Let me check in with the chat. You're talking about Starblazers. You like the other name for it. Space Battleship Yamato. That is an interesting version of the name. Dash says, Space Brothers. Hard sci-fi anime. 2 brothers seeing a UFO. Promise to become astronauts with one aiming for the moon and one for Mars. Interesting. Judah saying, Lanting Boy really liked Starblazer with the Comet Empire. Okay, so it sounds like Starblazers might be a really good one for me to check out. You didn't finish the arc of that one, Lanting Boy, and I will indeed, Legatus, be doing a Jed raid over to Adam the Renaissance Nerd. I'm guessing he's playing some Crimson Desert right now, so let me set that up right now. While I do, just letting everybody know what I have coming up for the next few days. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, Storyforge returns. It was purchased, so we're going to be writing out the story of Mafia Penguins in Antarctica. It's a wild story, but if you want to see me start to write out this short story and my incredible wife, Rachel, start to do some exclusive artwork for it, tune in tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Later on that night at 6 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing Saturday Night Drive-In. Adam the Renaissance Nerd and myself will be talking about Star Trek VI, the undiscovered country, and having a great time talking about that. I'm surprised he picked a sci-fi movie, honestly. I thought he would want to mix it up, but I'm always down to talk Star Trek, so we're going to have a great time with that. And then, as always, Rider Flight returns this Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. As long as you guys want it, I'm going to be talking about the Van Allen radiation belt and the chimpanzee civil war going on in Africa right now. And of course, a kind of bookend to the entire Artemis 2 era of this channel. So Rider Flight should be great. And we already have super chats for that chat, Choose Your Own Adventure. We're going to have an ant empire taking over the world thanks to Ariel. So we kind of have an idea of what the chat, Choose Your Own Adventure will be. Thank you all so much for watching, whether or not it was on the YouTube side or the Kick side. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks to Lantine Boy, Wiley Dave, Legatus, Judas, Dash, and let me see, Dr. Rachel was here earlier, and of course Rick Deckard as well for chatting so much, and thank you to everyone who lurked as well. All the new followers on Kick, thank you for following. I greatly appreciate it. Let me see. Lantine Starblazers is a bit longer than most other suggestions, Jed. Okay, that's good to know. Legend of Galactic Heroes might be the only thing longer. Legatus, Adam playing Crimson Desert? No, never. Adam isn't addicted. No, absolutely not. I can't believe it. Well, that's all that I have for today. So if you enjoyed this stream, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. The more support this channel gets, the closer we are to publishing the Endless Frontier novels. Until then, have a stellar day and stay curious.